All sports, all the time.
There's heroes and there's legends. Heroes get remembered. Legends never die.
This is the Spoken Podcast.
Hold your ears, folks. It's showtime.
I'm your host, Lance Twidwell.
Man, that kid, he can ball, man. He can ball.
Touchdown, Kansas City!
Patrick freaking Mahomes, baby!
Let's talk some sports, because that's what we're here to do.
You are tuned in to The Spoken.
This is the Spoken Podcast. I'm your host, Lance Twidwell, here inside the Spoken Studios with my guy, Trevor Twidwell.
What's good?
Episode 334 is in full swing, full motion. We're so happy to be with you and for you to be here with us, whether you are live streaming, podcasting, or YouTubing. We want to thank you so much for taking the time to be with us at this time as we have one of the biggest, most important shows of the season. We're not even going to try to downplay it. We all know that this is a game, a week where not only the fans, but the Chiefs themselves circle it on the calendar. What seems like every damn year, this is now the 10th meeting between Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen, the Kansas City Chiefs, the Buffalo Bills. And we're really excited to talk about this one, guys. We're really amped up, ready to go. I have a very strong inclination, very strong assumption that a lot of you feel the same way, which is why you're here. And if you're going to be here, you might as well hang out and chime in on the show as well. So if you would let me so kind, go to our YouTube side of things, go to the Spoken Podcast, hit subscribe, hit like, hit share, hit notify. A lot of buttons to hit. The one we need you to hit the most, though, is the comment button. We want you guys to be a part of this show. This is a community-driven show where we don't talk at you, we talk with you. We want to have conversation today. That is why it's called The Spoken, because we are a group of people that speak our minds. We are individuals that have independent thoughts, and we want to get those independent thoughts on the show today. So get those questions in, get those comments in, get those takes, concerns, whatever you guys have for us in the world of sports. Let's get that going today. I'm so ready to talk about this game. I'm ready to talk about everything that's going on in the world of the NFL, everything that's going on with the Chiefs. But if there's anything else outside of those particular comments, topics you guys want to discuss, we're here to do that, bad boy. We'll give you guys our authentic and honest opinion on those things. So, Trev, first and foremost, glad to have you back this week, man. We did the solo act last week. You guys obviously were out of town. Looked like you guys had a blast, man. And then obviously you guys did the thing again last night or Halloween. I hope everybody had a safe Halloween. I know I had a safe-ish Halloween. I had an absolute blast on a carriage ride for the most of the night and didn't fall out, believe it or not. But Trevor, how have you been, man? How was your week? And I know you don't even have to tell people you're excited to be back because we already know that. Yeah,
stoked to be back. No, man, it's been a busy last couple of weeks for me. With the holidays, Halloween is me and my kids' holidays. It's our time of year, man. We thrive during this time, and we've been we spent the weekend in Branson. It was a great time. Man, definitely glad to be back and talk some ball here. But and the Chiefs have been collecting wins along the way to the last couple of weeks. It's been fun, been enjoyable. Looking forward to that trend continuing this weekend. Man, beautiful weather outside. Fall weather is here in full effect. Last night was a perfect Halloween. Spent that with the kids as well. Great time. Man, ready to focus in on this game and take care of these Bills this week.
And that's where we're gonna get this thing going right now. We don't want to waste any more of you guys' time. We know that you guys have a lot of stuff going on. It's Halloween weekend, so I'm sure you guys have parties to go to or movies to catch up on. There's some that I actually definitely want to catch up on as well. But Trevor and I, we have plans. We got things to do this weekend. It's a perfect situation where Halloween falls on Friday, so you have kind of the whole weekend to kind of celebrate. And I hope that that's something you guys all do. And I hope that you guys are all safe and the kids are having fun as well. But I don't want to waste any more of you guys' time, like I said. So, Trevor, without further ado, it is time for Lance Rants.
Gotta scream! Yeah! We're back on motion! The moon's gonna do big!
So, if you guys can't tell, yes, I'm a little stuffed up still. It has been something that has been kicking my ass literally for the last week or so. I know you guys probably watched the 65 Toss Power Talk Show. I've been on Chief Concerns. I've been all chiefed up. It's been a busy last couple weeks for me when it comes to doing shows. And for whatever damn reason, life decided to just throw an absolute wrench right in the middle of it and get me to the point where I cannot breathe out of my nose right now. So I've been
up, more like all stuffed up.
Woo! Hey, what up? I have been Draymond Greening it for the last few days where I cannot breathe out of my mouth, or at least choosing not to, either one, whatever you guys want to go with. So I apologize in advance for the sound of my voice. Sounded like I said, like Eric Mangini over here, very nasally. It is not intentional. I'm fighting through it, and I wasn't going to miss the show today, so you're welcome in advance, damn it. But I'm glad to see the chat is live. Glad to see we got some OGs in the house. Obviously, our guy Dustin Horton's here. Todd Tollfree's here with us. That's good, but he's been a regular of late. And our old boy, Billy Hodge is with us today. Shout out to Billy Hodge. And shout out to everybody that's already in the chat. Like I said, guys, get in there now. Do your thing. Tell your friends about us. And let's get this party rocking, guys. So we do have to start briefly on last week's game. I told you on my solo act last week how I anticipated that this was going to be a game where the Chiefs were going to use it to get ready for the rest of this stretch run, because as we know, outside of this Commanders game, the Chiefs have one remaining NFC opponent left on their schedule. It's the Cowboys on Thanksgiving. Whether you think that's a big game or not, that's left up for interpretation. We can talk about it when that time comes. But we do know that the Chiefs have a slate of games that are very much important for a lot of reasons that we're going to talk about. In particular, we have the Bills, that we know is a team that is always vying for an opportunity to take the Chiefs down to the postseason. They're a team that has annually beaten the Chiefs in the regular season, and they have, in my opinion, the second best quarterback in the NFL, Josh Allen. So this is a team that you very much have to reverence, you have to respect, you have to give them your full attention. And I said the Chiefs are going to look at this game against the Commanders. I did not believe they were going to overlook them. I don't, even after the way things started, I do not believe they overlooked the Commanders. I think what happened was, what I was telling you guys, and it's so funny how this worked out, because the game went exactly as I saw it, but also the complete opposite as I saw it. And I'm going to explain why. You guys remember when I told you that my only fear in this game was what? That the Chiefs come out a little sluggish offensively, kind of let the Commanders kind of, stay in the game, let, Marcus Mariota make some chunk plays with his feet and get some guys open, and all of a sudden it's a real close game for the first half, and it's 7-7. I literally said those words. And that is literally what happened in the first half. Sluggish start for the Chiefs. Not a lot of inspiration, not a lot of energy out the gate. Defense looked fine, but not great. And it's 7-7 at half. And I'm sitting here watching this game going, damn it, this is really how this is going to go? So I put up my final thoughts in the first half, and I said, guys, that could not have been more of a dog shit first half by the Chiefs, because it was. The effort just wasn't there offensively. Execution. Awesome. Yeah, execution just wasn't there. Yeah. You felt like there was a rhythm coming about with the offense, but then Marshawn Lattimore made an incredible throw and a back shoulder throw that I talked to our guy Shaggy Shane on the 65 Toss Power Talk Show about. I didn't like the fact that was – I actually loved the play, because the Chiefs don't utilize that enough, the back shoulder throw, which is highly effective in this league, especially when you have a quarterback that has the arm like a Patrick Mahomes. But I did not like the player it was going to. Hollywood Brown isn't a back shoulder guy. He's not big enough, physical enough to be able to fight through the defender. Yeah,
they had Tyquan out there for that, or Rashid.
Sure.
Or another big
Travis Kelce, guys like that. That makes sense. Noah Gray, who came alive in this game as well. Yeah. That stuff, that would have made sense. So Hollywood Brown just didn't really qualify to me in that play. That's the reason I didn't like the play in its totality. And then obviously Travis Kelce just continuing to struggle with just locking in and just getting these easy passes. Now, there was a theory that Jared Goff did have on the Manning cast. I don't know if you saw it or not. But Jared Goff had an interesting theory. If you go watch the play again from the backward angle, or the back angle from behind Patrick Mahomes, as you see Travis Kelce drifting to the left of Mahomes, Juju Smith-Schuster is right in line of where the throw ultimately went. And he's about 5 yards behind Travis Kelce. So Travis drifts back into the line where the ball's coming. And Jared Goff theorized that maybe that ball wasn't for Travis Kelce initially. So maybe that's why the ball hit him in the hands that way, because Patrick put some real sauce on it, because he was trying to get it to Juju. So maybe that's what it had.
Like an underthrown ball?
No, it was in line to get to Juju, because Juju was only 5 yards behind him. Patrick has a zip, on his passes. And so what they think is that Travis just simply stepped in front, almost like an interception attempt, and it just hit his hands up in the air. Regardless, the execution wasn't there. Yeah. And it was a horrific interception off of Travis Kelce's hand, and we've seen this now multiple times this season.
It's been a timing issue has been a thing for this offense, like rhythm and timing
has
been. I mean, Pat extending plays. That's what was nice about the second half, because we actually found a rhythm. We were just getting first read plays off, and it was like, wow.
Yeah.
2-step, 3-step drop backs, and Pat's just delivering a ball on a first read, and it's It's really nice how football games can just roll along when that's happening.
And that's why the game went ultimately the way I saw it going.
Yeah.
Because
Took
even
control.
though it started off so bad and just so damn straight up frustrating,
Yeah.
we saw the Chiefs.
Just do what they do in this.
They're like, okay, well, we're going to come back out here and we're just going to whoop some ass. And that's exactly what happened. And that is why
Kareem Hunt have a night, buddy.
I mean, my God, 2 tutties, which by the way, I know somebody personally that made about 15 grand off that. They put 2
Shit.
touchdowns. They put like $100 on Kareem. I'm not going to name his, but congratulations to him.
Receiving and rushing. Dude, what a night.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it was like plus like I think it was like plus like 1,300 or something for Kareem having had 2 touchdowns. Anyway, you saw the real Chiefs come back out, and to your point, Trevor, the lack of rhythm and execution. I think there are reasons for it. I mean, the Chiefs are still getting everybody in rhythm together. The chemistry's still got to be built because they've only had a couple games now where everybody's been together.
Well,
And
we're
still not
without-
everybody's
we're
really
without a
together.
starting left tackle, and I feel like Jalen struggled early in that game.
He did.
He was allowing some pressures. Then he got it together, and their offensive line was
They
amazing
clicked.
from that point forward.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good defensive line too. They've been pretty good. That's like the strength of their defense. Their secondary is, which is most frustrating about that pick. Their secondary is not great. They're slower. Their linebackers are pretty slow. They got older linebackers. You know what I mean? So that defensive line can get after you though. But our offensive line has been so good. Like we expected them to be what they were for the entirety game, but what they were in the second half. The second half they were dominant.
Yeah,
You know, we are without Trey Smith too, so there's some certain things. We'll have him back most likely this week, and a good timing.
he's back.
to
Yeah,
have him back. Yeah. So, but yeah, rhythm was a big thing in that second half, man. Pat just kind of locked in and started getting his first, second reads and get the ball out quicker. Very effective, man. And another great game for Rashee Rice, dude. He's been awesome since he's been back too. How about that? That's been great. So.
yeah. Like I said, I think this game just kind of showed both versions of the Chiefs this season.
And the defense is just quietly elite.
Yeah, and they gave up one damn scoring drive in this game, guys. I mean, like,
And dude, it had to be. It was like two all-time catches by McLaurin in that
Right.
game. Just to keep them moving the chains. It took 2 epic catches. Those catches were insane, by the way.
and I mean the Chiefs defense. Let's give them some praise here because obviously we love talking offense because that's the fun stuff and
Yeah.
that's the
Sexy.
the sexy, exciting stuff. The Chiefs defense has allowed 7 points in their last 8 quarters. Now you could say, oh, I mean they faced Geno Smith and Marcus Mariota, but we can't pretend they didn't hold a healthy Lamar Jackson to 7 points and then hold a elite 35 point per game Lions offense to 17.
Yep.
So even in the loss to the Eagles, they only gave up 20, and then the Eagles scored 7 of that at the very end of the game.
Right.
So it was only a 13-point game for the majority of that game for the Eagles. So all in all, man, the Chiefs defense needs their flowers more than anything, in my
No doubt.
opinion, because they're consistently good. They've been great at times. They've been a little at times.
Now we're adding Mike Pennell back.
Consistently
to the mix.
good, yes. And the addition of
love
Mike
it,
Pennell, I will say this to kind of segue from the Commanders game because I think we all kind of just agree that first half was frustrating, second half was very satisfying, and the Chiefs moved forward. They got what they needed out of that game, got a
I
W.
was appreciative that there was actual adjustments at halftime.
Yes.
We figured we changed some things up. We sped up the offense a little bit. Pat was getting the ball out quicker, just getting the ball in guys' hands.
Yeah.
Because we were frustrated too, like with the lack of utilization of Rashee Rice in the entire first half. I'm like, there's no way these DBs are shutting him down.
And this is why
Stop it.
This is why, and I'm going to pin the Mike Pennell thing real quick. I'm going to say this though real quick before we go to Mike Pennell. I definitely do not believe the Chiefs overlook opponents. I don't believe there's trap games in the Mahomes era. I don't know if I really even believe in trap games at all in the NFL. But you could tell that they were holding some stuff back, at least initially. When the game was close, you could tell the Chiefs were like, let's just give let's put out
Vanilla.
our C plus game plan,
Yeah.
and we can beat this team.
Well, especially the way our defense was playing.
Right.
Against Mariota. Like, no one was, like, truly worried about Mariota, man.
Right.
Like,
And he played
He did.
pretty damn well.
Very
But
poised.
to that point, like Mike Dana had a career game. His first interception of his entire life as a football
he
player.
had a sack, too, didn't he?
He had a sack.
Yeah.
Like he played well. Chris Jones finally started playing
George
better. We're going to
played
talk about him
great.
later.
Yeah.
George played really well. Some of these guys stepped up, and Amenhu about decked the freaking chubby ass coach on the sideline that looked
That
like
was
Will
funny,
Poulter.
bro. That was funny.
Yeah, I don't know what that guy. He looked like Michael Keaton in Multiplicity. That's what Peppy Steve.
He like had the eyebrow.
Yeah, my God, dude. But yeah, like I said, all in all, the ending of that game, you felt like okay, the Chiefs took some stuff for this one, applied it for next week, and we'll talk about that matchup in a minute. The addition of Mike Pennell is only a good thing. We obviously heard this week that the Bengals honored the release request from Mike Pennel. He wanted to move on because things weren't just they just gave up 39 points to the Jets and lost at home.
Yeah, he wants to win, man.
Yeah, it's inexcusable. I'll be real with you guys. Mike Pennel should have never been gone in the first place.
True.
He's developed a good relationship with chief concern guys, our buddies Marcus Dash, Jason Dunn, those guys.
Chris Jones' boy, man.
And that's the same thing they said too. It's like
the camaraderie.
What was the point of moving off? Because then you go and trade for Derek Nottie anyway, and then you end up signing back Mike Pennel. If there were guys in place like Omar Norman-Lott was obviously a high pick that they liked, but I didn't feel like Omar Norman-Lott got in the way of what Mike Pennel could be for this team. And there wasn't really anybody else on this roster that can really take Mike Pennel out of the equation, if that makes sense. Like I just didn't see that guy here. I still don't see that guy here. And clearly the Chiefs don't either because they went and just got his ass back. So it's only a good thing. But I'm going to say that I don't think it's enough. I think that the Chiefs are going to have to still make another move. I think they're going to make another move because the biggest,
right?
Yeah,
I agree.
and the biggest reason why is, and
you overhaul it too, man.
You and I had our debates about the running back situation, but I am starting to understand that that's probably not a reality.
Yeah.
I have my opinion on it.
Just for the price for some of these guys. I think we just came out and saw Brees Hall. They're looking for a third. I'm not giving up a third.
No and then they have to get an extension.
Yeah.
It's not happening.
Yeah.
So Clark Hunt said it this week when he was asked by the media. You know, Clark doesn't talk a lot to the media. He picks his spots. He's not Jerry Jones. He likes to let Veach and Andy Reid and Patrick and those guys kind of be the forefront, get the focus. Which is why this means a lot to me. When Clark Hunt says, I know Brett Veach, and I know how aggressive, and of course I'm paraphrasing here, I know how aggressive he likes to be, and I do anticipate that's going to continue. What does that tell you? When the owner of the team is coming out, and he does not talk very often. It's usually for very important things. For him to say that, and also add to the fact that he said about Josh Simmons, about how, I like what we're hearing and things like that. That's also a big, powerful thing to hear, too, from your owner. Fully expect I think Josh Simmons is going to be back for the Broncos game in a couple weeks.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, I do anticipate that. I think after the bye, he's back as the Chiefs' starting left tackle. But, yeah, that's what got me on board of, okay, the Chiefs are going to make another move. And there are guys out there. We can theorize on it, but the point remains the Chiefs know they don't have enough on their defensive line to have the best chance imaginable to win another Super Bowl. They have such a golden opportunity right now. They can win the Super Bowl as currently constructed, but if they're wanting to capitalize and give themselves the best chance, that is going to require an addition on the edge or addition on the defensive tackle position. So that's what I anticipate, and that's where I leave it right now. I mean, the Chiefs have, I think, 3 more days before the trade deadline. I wouldn't be shocked if by tomorrow or Monday morning we get breaking news the Chiefs traded a 5th or 6th round pick for a Jalen Phillips or a 5th or a 6th round pick for a Jermont Jones, Jermaine Johnson, somebody that comes to mind. Guys like that.
I'm all for that kind of move. Man.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're going to get a guy that can be a plus. Not just a dude, not a jag.
Yeah.
A guy that can actually do something in this defense.
Because, we've seen signs of this defense already looking like an elite defense, especially with points allowed. When it comes to like red zone defense, bro, our team has been insane at like forcing teams to like either to a turnover or turnover on downs because teams tend to be aggressive against us. They try to go for it on a 4th down a lot down there. We've been stopping teams, which is crazy because 3rd and long we can't stop anybody, but 4th and short, good luck. We're gonna stop you damn near every time. So it's like it's frustrating when that end, but just us allowing points and us being so good against the run this year too, which makes me feel even more better about this Bills matchup. The way our defense against the run has been, and now you bring in a guy like Pennel who's going to fill those gaps as well, like a big man. Just adding him to this mix is nice too, but grabbing another body in this defensive line, getting another body that can, maybe complete some plays and take advantage of Chris Jones' double teams and finish some plays and get some sacks. Yeah, man, that's what I'm looking for in free agency, if anything. But yeah, man, I expect Veach to make a move on the defensive side. Offensively, if we do look at running back, that is a possibility. I think it's just really slim pickings right now.
Right.
Like I told you when we were at the gym the other day, like I think maybe like a Tony Pollard would become available. The Titans team that might be selling a lot of people. That's possible. I would take him as a depth guy if they want to give like a 5th or a 6th for him. I'll take Tony Pollard.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? But
He honestly would probably be the
A
most
good fit.
realistic option right
Good
now.
pass catching back.
28 years
Or
old.
Even Tajay Spears. I think they hold on to Tajay Spears.
It
But I
hasn't-
like his skill set too.
Isn't Pollard like trying to get his 4th straight 1,000-yard season too right now?
He's a good player. I think he's on a shit team. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So, a cheaper depth piece I'd be cool with, but the Brees Hall stuff, it was fun to think about. But I think they're wanting a third. There ain't no way I'm getting a third and then eventually paying that guy. We don't pay running backs on this team, man. That's
right.
It's not a valued position on this team. We've won several championships without any kind of elite or even really really good running backs. So yeah, we got our banger and cream hunt, getting those short yardage things and punching in the end zone on the red zone stuff. It's kind of all we need at the running back position right now, and some pass catching. Like I think Brashard Smith has promise, so we'll see what they do. But I like the idea of Brett Veach going to get another pass rusher.
Well, my tone on the running back position would be much different if we knew now, or we didn't know what we know now about Isaiah Pacheco.
Sure.
It sounds like
Granted, I don't think
they
he
really
misses much.
no, that's what I'm saying. I feel like they dodged a bullet.
Yeah.
Because obviously this team still very much believes in Isaiah Pacheco.
Well, even when he was hurt,
And-
when he went to the sidelines, he popped back up. I mean, granted, he's like one of those guys that doesn't show like he's hurt. He
Right.
kind of like in the moment is just such a hype guy. He like kind of just goes through the pain, but like I think it's a legitimate MCL sprain. But I
Yes.
think it's on the lighter side.
They're from the sounds of it, he's probably back for the Broncos game, which is 2 weeks.
Yeah.
They said they were trying to. He was wanting to practice and get ready for this game. So
Yeah.
he's obviously not. It's going to be a pain thing. It's not going to be a structural issue where like he's gonna that thing's gonna blow anytime. Like it's not one of those
And,
deals.
and like I said before, man, like we've said off the air, and like this team just needs to run just enough. We need to balance and a little bit of balance and rhythm, but this team throws at the highest rate in the NFL. We live and die by a Patrick Mahomes' arm.
Right.
It's proven to be a winning formula. Granted, we do need a running game. We do need to run, and I'll say, man, like I think Cream's been just good enough to. He's like, I mean, he hasn't been great. He doesn't have top-notch speed by any means, but he's got that good burst. We've seen him pop through that line and get some big chunk plays, especially this past game against Washington. Had a couple really nice runs. Cream's a solid pass catcher. He doesn't do much after the catch, but the dude knows how to get open in space. We saw that in the touchdown catch. So I think we have just enough to get by until Pacheco's back, and I'm not a big Pacheco guy, but he's got the trust and the confidence of the coaching staff. We just need maybe a middle of the pack, maybe a little below the pack running game. And Patrick Mahomes does the rest, and that's what, especially with Rasheed back in the mix now for the rest of this year, which we didn't have last year. This offense is up there, top 3 offense in the league right now.
Right, and you make the point that kind of brings that all home to I think hopefully all of us when you say that the Chiefs just run the ball enough at times. I would like more of a balanced structure because as we know, when the Chiefs run a balanced offense, they're at their best. Because what it does, it forces the defense to
to your
kinda
point,
clog up the
it keeps
middle.
Pat from rushing the ball too.
That's my favorite thing about it.
But that's a lot of, like I've said though before, that's a lot of just lack of execution on the passing plays where Pat feels like the play's breaking down. He wants to throw the ball, but he scrambles a lot right now because there's just been issues completing and getting guys in space, getting guys open.
Right. Yeah, and that's my thing is that I know as long as Patrick is who he is, they're gonna throw the ball 35, 40 times a game every week.
Yeah, even with like a 10+ point lead, they're still
and that's why I didn't get mad. Like when people are like, "Oh man, the Chiefs could have got Cam Scadaboo," they could sign Brees or trade for Brees Hall.
Yeah.
You guys have to understand those guys are not going to play the same or get as many touches as they do with the Jets and the
Brees
Giants.
Hall's not coming over here to get 20 touches a game.
It's not happening, man. Now, if you want to theorize on a really good wide receiver the Chiefs would want to trade for one day, then you're having a conversation of, okay, that could be a volume guy here in Kansas City that justifies that. Why do you think the Chiefs traded for a DeAndre Hopkins last year? They needed that help in the wide receiver room, and it was valid to do so.
Got Hollywood Brown.
Now, I value running back. I value it, I think, a little bit more than even the Chiefs do. But I do think there's no question that the place where the Chiefs have to add more depth is on the defensive side. The weird thing about the Chiefs, though, is that they have depth at quarterback, but they're not utilizing some of it. What do I mean by that? Well, they have a guy that Brett Veach doesn't spend money at quarterback. We all know this. But he finally actually spent real money this offseason on Christian Fulton. And we're, 8 games in? And and Christian Fulton has played 17 snaps. 17 snaps. Like that. Yeah. I'm trying to wrap my mind around that. I was talking to our guy Mike Williams from All Chiefed Up this last week about that. He was asking me that question. What is it that's happening? Because we heard Spags talk about it in the press conference a little over a week ago. And I'll be honest with you, after hearing Spags talk about it, it didn't clear anything really up because Spags said a lot without really saying anything. And I've always known Spags to be kind of a straightforward kind of guy. Says some stuff, and you kind of, it's very obvious.
Yeah.
He was talking about his, he hasn't been healthy, which I get because he did deal with I think a foot or ankle injury during training camp and preseason. But from every indication, he's been a full go at practice, and he's been a healthy scratch in most of these games, which means that's not true. And I'm not trying to call Spags a liar, but that's not true, just based on what you guys are showing us outside of what you're telling us. And then you say that, he's coming along and he's learning things more and more. I mean, this is the longest tenured player in the NFL amongst all your quarterbacks. He's the oldest of all of them. This guy should understand this defense. I mean, it's technical and it's sound, but I have a hard time believing that a 26, 27-year-old quarterback's not understanding the defense, especially a guy that you had that much faith in before the season to pay him that kind of money. So, in all actuality, I don't really know what's going on with Christian Fulton, guys. I really can't put my finger on it. I think maybe the Chiefs are trying to protect him a little bit or stash him in a certain way to where because they might, in all defense, they do like what they're seeing from Noah Williams. They are, Jamari Connor's been fine. He's been cooked a few times this year, but they love him. Trent McDuffie's obviously Trent McDuffie. Jalen Watson's having an awesome season. So maybe it's just more that they like what they're seeing from some of these younger guys, which is fine. But we can't sit here and pretend like Noah Williams has been playing 50 snaps a game.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been up and down with Noah Williams' snap count. So it's a real mystery, man. And I think that the Chiefs need to be a little bit more clear with this whole situation with Christian Fulton because they're not really being that clear about it. And it is making less and less sense every single week when the guy that you spent real money on isn't playing. Like, we know why Jalen Moore hasn't been playing up to the last few weeks because he was the backup because Josh Simmons beat him out. And we knew that because that's how the Chiefs handled it.
Yeah.
That isn't how they've been handling Christian Fulton. So if that is the reason, just say that. And then we can kind of stop theorizing on this and wondering what the hell's going on with Christian Fulton. What are you seeing from this, man?
It is weird. It's puzzling. I don't know if it's a performance issue at practice. Maybe it's not playing up to par what they want to see out of him. Maybe there is a lingering issue, like maybe a nagging injury that they're just kind of keeping under wraps, which is illegal. I don't know. If a healthy scratch is a healthy scratch, that's not injury related. So I don't know, man. I really don't. I mean, it's such a mystery thing for us, and we want our best corners out on the field, and I feel like he was brought in to be one of our best corners, especially on the outside, So I don't know, man. I definitely want to see more of Noah Williams. I think that guy's an absolute dog. Fulton is a guy we want to see out there. We traded for him, or we brought him in over here. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I don't know. I thought he was a great fit.
Yeah,
we've just yet to really see it. You know what I mean? So like it is it's crazy though because our defense has been playing so good.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like our corner's been playing good. Our safety play's been awesome. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Like I maybe they're just putting the guys they feel are the best guys out there right now. Maybe he's just not right mentally coming off that injury. Maybe he's we've seen some guys deal with injuries and not be there mentally yet.
Yeah. To
trust whatever injury they're dealing with or have dealt with. I don't know, man. It is a very vague situation going on right now with that. But shit, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I don't know. Maybe like I say all the time, man. Like to a degree, I care about the name on the jersey. I want the best guy on the field for the job.
Sure.
No matter what. This is a merit-based sport. You know what I mean? So I trust Spags to make the right decisions, have the right guys out there. But I think if anybody I want to see out there more than anybody, it is Noah Williams because I think that dude's an absolute dog, and I think he's a playmaker. He's a guy that can go get turnovers.
Right.
And those have been kind of hard to come by for our defense. Granted, we had a nice pick last week, which was fun to see. But I want more of that. I want to force some turnovers because if this defense is being able to force turnovers and our offense is clicking the way it is, that is a disastrous combination for the rest of the league. If our defense is taking away the ball, not only being great at points allowed, but taking the ball away also, and our points continue to, we're getting, damn near 30 a game plus offensively. It's the best team in the league you're looking at right now. So,
I couldn't agree more.
So getting guys like out there that can make plays, and take the ball away, that's something that we need a little bit more of. That's why I want guys that can go get sacks. That's why I like bringing in Pennell. Guys like that I know can go get after the quarterback and just have a fierceness about them, that they relentless playmakers like that we know have clicked in this defensive structure. So, yeah, man, Noah Williams for sure I want to see out there more. But, yeah, the Fulton situation is a bit strange and very vague.
I couldn't agree more, man. And that's where I'm at, too. Like, I want to see the best guys play. I was anticipating, and maybe it's just my own fault for building up the expectation just based on the contract alone, and remembering how good Christian Fulton was with the Chargers. That hey, this is supposed to be a guy in this defense, and you spend real money there. Like, and I hate to bring it back up, but I'm going to do it real quick, Trevor. This is another reason why you guys need to probably start seeing things a little bit more from my side with Trent McDuffie.
Yeah.
I know they're two different players. I get it. But let's say that there is this, it is what it looks like, where Christian Fulton just isn't good enough or isn't picking it up or he's on a decline because, like I said, this is a type of position that's very volatile. We've seen really good players at this position drop off the freaking planet and never come back.
Yeah.
This is the risk you take, man, when you pay these guys real money. I mean, look at L'Jarius Sneed right now. We all love L'Jarius Sneed. We all appreciate everything that man did. He is one of the biggest reasons.
Writing was on the wall with him.
I know, but
his
my
knees
point,
were going.
the point I'm making though is he was the best corner on one of the best defenses in the league in 2023. Was one of the 5 biggest reasons the Chiefs won that Super Bowl.
Absolute lockdown, the whole playoff.
Every week he was shutting down the wide receiver
Tyreek's
one.
ass down.
Like as great as Trent was that year, Trent wasn't locking down wide receiver ones that year.
They were just such a good duo.
Right.
They both have different strengths.
But that's the point I've been trying to make this whole time. Is this is what Veach does.
Yeah.
And look at like Jalen Watson. Jalen Watson is actually having his best season of his career.
That's what I'm saying. He's been great. Like,
and you know what's going to happen?
Really
You know what's going to happen? Someone else is going to go pay him real money. You know why? Because the Chiefs aren't paying him. You know why? Because Brett Veach gets guys like that all the time.
Javarius Ward's all time. His first year, he was gone.
And he goes and gets real money elsewhere. This is what I've been trying to prepare people for, man. I don't want to get on a soapbox and go through the whole spiel again. Yeah. But I'm trying to get you guys to understand this is a prime example. L'Jarius Sneed is a prime example. Javarius Ward, Jalen Watson. It does not matter where they got drafted. It is the value of the position. Yeah. If anything, it should prove that point more so because the Chiefs have only gone quarterback once in the first round or in the second or third. You know, they don't go early quarters. Yeah. Why? Because Veach sees the value later on in the draft in that position and develops those guys through Dave Merritt, through Steve Spagnuolo. He has the trust in those figures.
And I do see the other side of the coin on that argument, though. People talk about to that point that we'd never really go up and especially trade up to get a cornerback, let alone where we took him with the draft capital we spent on him. Maybe that is the guy that we keep around and we do pay.
As I've always said, though,
so I see that argument as well.
That's a total fair thought on it. What I always say to that, because I've heard it before as well. That was very circumstantial because the Chiefs had 12 picks. Yeah. And they, to Brett Veach's own admittance, did not anticipate that Trent was going to fall into the late teens.
Right.
So he's like, oh, shit, the best corner on our board fell. Yeah, the best corner on our board fell that we did not have. We didn't think we have a single chance of getting him.
And I'm certain we got word that the Bills wanted him.
Yeah, and you have 12 picks.
Yeah. You
already liked Karlaftis, so you knew he was going to fall. That's what the Chiefs talked about. They knew Karlaftis was going to fall to the back end of the first round.
Sure.
They had 12 picks. Like, well, if we give up a couple picks and move ahead of the Bills, we can go and snag this guy we didn't anticipate was going to be there. That was a very unique situation. If the Chiefs would have had like 8 picks, 9 picks, there is no way in hell they're getting Trent McDuffie.
Yeah.
It was all about the situation. It was so perfect.
Yeah.
That's what I try to tell people all the time is that situation happened the way it did because it was so perfectly aligned for the Chiefs to get him. So yes, it was a rare occasion. He is a rare talent. But I think, like I said, the ideal situation that you have is get the best 4 years of a guy at that position and never have to pay him, and someone else can pay him as he tails off slowly or rapidly. Either way, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
You don't want to be the one that's fronting that bill when this guy is clearly on the decline, and, oh, well, we still got to pay him his fully guaranteed $28 million this year, even though, he just gave up 4 touchdowns in the last 3 games. Like, I love Trent McDuffie. I love what he's doing right now. I think it's horseshit that he doesn't get enough credit like he deserves.
Yeah.
But it's right now that he's at his utmost effectiveness for the Chiefs. He's at his absolute peak right now. Same with L'Jarius Sneed, because if you can tell, he's been good with the Titans, but now he's on the IR.
Yeah.
And he's dealing with more and more injuries. Javarius Ward dealing with injuries with the Colts now. He's been on multiple teams since the Chiefs let him go. You look at a lot of these corners that had great moments in time and great runs and seasons with the Chiefs.
Such a volatile position.
And yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So they move off these guys and they let other teams pay them, And you see it in the same trajectory each and every time. That's not a coincidence, guys.
It's rinse and repeat.
It is, and that's how I think the Chiefs are going to keep it. Anyway, so the Chiefs have a very, very, very important game this week. And it's a game that Trevor and I are very excited to talk about. I know that you guys are very excited to talk about, so throw in as many comments as you want in the chat today, guys, because we want all of them. It's an important game for so many reasons because, again, there is a – I don't believe the Bills, and as crazy as this may sound, I actually don't believe they're the Chiefs' rival. Because you have to beat another team. Like the Yankees-Red Sox have been such a great rival because, one, they're in each other's division. They always beat the crap out of each other. And two, they were always in each other's way from the other one winning the World Series.
We've never had a true solidified rival.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to make one, it's the Eagles because they're the ones that's been, they've traded
They've got us in
barbs.
the
You know what I
Super
mean?
Bowl.
Yeah, they beat each other in the Super Bowl. That makes sense.
A lot of chatter between the teams. I mean, maybe the Bengals are probably the close second.
Sure,
say.
it's been years though since that's been.
It's been a minute.
So the point I'm trying to make is, until the Bills can actually do what we actually all pay attention to, and that's to beat the Chiefs in the playoffs, I don't consider them a real rival. Regular season rival, whatever.
Sure.
But this game's important not just because of the fact these two teams have a lot of respect for each other, and dare I say maybe even some animosity because they know that they don't really truly like each other.
Yeah. It's kind of passive aggressive.
Yeah, absolutely. 10 matchups now between Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes. Josh Allen just turned 29. Patrick Mahomes just turned 30. That's insane.
Yep. And the numbers are separated. The points scored between the two teams separate by 1 point.
Yeah, it's nuts, dude.
That's insane, bro.
I want to address something real quick about this matchup that I have to get out of the way first. I'm really sick and tired of hearing even the greats like Jim Nantz saying stuff like, Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes, they need each other. Guys, under no circumstance, and I don't want to sound like I'm copying and pasting Nick right here because I had these thoughts before I even heard Nick say it. In no way, shape, or form does Patrick Mahomes need Josh Allen. Because to Nick's point, he said on his show, all of Josh Allen's biggest moments of his career came against Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes, like outside of the greatest game maybe ever played, and that throw to Travis Kelce to end the game in overtime against, the 13-second game against the Bills. Outside of that, almost every other big moment of Patrick Mahomes' career has happened, and Josh Allen's nowhere to be found.
Yeah.
So that isn't the truth. And I'm so sick of this trying to turn them into the next Brady and Peyton Manning rivalry.
They've been trying to do that for everybody.
Well, the biggest reason why that's a lie.
It was Deshaun Watson. Remember, it was supposed to be Deshaun Watson.
The biggest reason why that's just not true at all, besides the obvious of, Patrick beating them 4-0, is to that point, the Tom Brady and Peyton Manning faced off in the AFC Championship 4 times. Peyton Manning beat him 3 of those 4.
Yep.
So,
and Peyton had more MVPs.
And everybody called Peyton the choke artist, which is fine, because he did choke a lot in the postseason.
Sure.
But to that point, imagine Josh Allen beating Patrick Mahomes 3 times in 4 AFC championships. That would make it a real rivalry.
Well, yeah.
That's why they were a real rivalry.
Imagine Buffalo was hosting a lot of those AFC. We're trading hosting. No, we've hosted, 6 of the last 7?
Right. They've never faced the Bills in the AFC championship in Buffalo.
Yeah.
It was a divisional round. You know what I mean? Like, that's the point I'm trying to get people to understand. And furthermore, when you talk about Peyton had all the stats and Brady had all the success, Patrick has all of that. All of that's on one side.
Like Nick Wright said before, he is Peyton Manning and Tom Brady.
Yes. So this fabricated nonsense of, this is the new Brady Manning. All they're trying to do is drum up some selling points to get
Lamar
people
Jackson
free.
would actually make more sense because he's got the MVPs.
Right.
I mean, Josh needs Pat more than Pat needs Josh because Josh got the runner-up award because he couldn't beat Pat again last year, so they decided to give him
a mercy MVP.
Yeah, exactly. So who needs who? He needs Pat because they gave him the sympathy award for losing to Pat again.
Right.
So he actually needs Pat in order to get that MVP. He's just taking Pat's hand-me-downs, man.
I had to address that off the top before we really get down in this matchup.
Yeah.
Excuse me, guys. That to me needed to be said because I know there's a lot of people that are trying to turn this into something it's just not.
Yeah.
It could be one day. They're still youngish guys, so maybe, next 5 years it changes. I don't anticipate that, but it could.
Yeah.
But the biggest reason why this game is so important to the Chiefs in particular, and it is to the Bills, but I'm going to speak on the Chiefs' behalf, is the fact that the Chiefs are catching the Bills in a very unique situation in time and in a season where the Chiefs can no longer afford to lose games. So if you look at the last 3 matchups in the regular season, In the last 3 regular season matchups, this is the Chiefs' record when they face the Bills. So this is since 2022. The Chiefs were 4-1, 8-4, and 9-0. They're 5-3 this season. Rashee Rice played in only one of those games. That was in 2023 as a rookie, and it was only his 6th career start. So the Chiefs are now in a position where they have a Rashee Rice that they are trying to essentially build their offense around, even though, I ain't going to lie, guys, 36-year-old Travis Kelce is having a hell of a season.
Balling.
On pace for 80 catches for 1,000 yards and 6 touchdowns.
Receiving at the tight end position right now.
He's leading the Chiefs in every stat right now. So
it's funny. I know you say on the podcast, it's like 26-year-old, 24-year-old, 28-year-old, and he's 36.
Yeah.
It's like, Jesus Christ.
It's nuts, dude.
He's third in the league.
He's leading the Chiefs in yak yards. Now, obviously, Rasheed's going to take that over because he's going to keep playing.
He's going to eclipse that pretty quickly.
This game is so important to the Chiefs, guys, because they no longer have the luxury to say, well, we can afford to lose this game because we're still leading our division by X amount of games, or we're leading the AFC by X amount of games. Let's just use this game as kind of a study, to get prepared, because we know we're going to face the Bills. Because here's the other part of it. Is there any real guarantee that the Chiefs are going to see the Bills again in the postseason?
No.
Because last I checked, this Bills defense is pretty fucking ass.
Well, banged up, too.
And they're beyond banged up. They've lost their best interior linemen. All their secondary is horrible and banged up. They got beaten by a Falcons team soundly that lost horrifically to the Dolphins just a week later. This is a very bad Bills defense. And the Bills are a team that have to win one way. James Cook has to go off. Show the numbers real quick, Trevor, on James Cook. So in the Bills' 5 wins, and they might not all show up on the screen, but just hear me out if you guys listen. In their 5 wins, James Cook averages 123 rushing yards, 6.4 yards per carry with 7 total touchdowns. But in their 2 losses, he only averages 68 rushing. That's literally half the yards, 68 yards, 4.2 yards per attempt, which is almost 2.5 yards less, with only 1 touchdown. There is no mystery to this Bills team. Back in the previous times, even up to last year, when the Chiefs and Bills would face each other, Josh Allen had the luxury of saying, I have the defense that can back us up. We can afford maybe to mess up on offense. We can afford to have a bad turnover. Yeah. My defense will pick us up and slow the Chiefs down.
They
because
have
to
to
that
control
point,
the pace now.
Yeah, because to that point, the Chiefs hadn't had a good left tackle in years. They didn't have their best weapons. Or they were rookies. There's been a lot against the Chiefs in those matchups as well, when the Bills had the number 1 defense, the number 2 defense, the number 4 defense. They had that ability to capitalize on both sides of the ball. That's no longer the case. Meanwhile, let's look at the Chiefs' stats since week 3. So look at that, guys. Since week 3, the Chiefs are giving up the 2nd fewest points per game, the 2nd fewest total yards per game, 3rd fewest pass yards per game, 3rd worst quarterback rating in the league, and opponent touchdown interception ratio, 2nd best ratio.
Damn. That's crazy.
Now, again, you can sit here and say, well, who have they really beat? Well, I don't know. How about Jared fucking Goff? How about Lamar fucking Jackson? Because if we're going to sit here and try to downplay these numbers, then look at what those teams are with Lamar Jackson and Jared Goff. Lamar Jackson just went into Miami and just put on an absolute show. Jared Goff is leading the number 1 offense in the league. And I think right now, they're 2 seed in the NFC, in a packed NFC.
Yep.
So, yeah, the Lions have had problems on defense, but the Chiefs faced that Lions team without their starting left tackle on a moment's notice, and he wouldn't be there.
Defense still have to do their job against that offense.
Yeah,
man,
by the way, Rashee Rice still wasn't eligible to play yet. And the Chiefs hung 30 on them and beat them by 13.
Yep. 7 points in the second half.
Yes.
Nuts.
And again, as I said earlier, the Chiefs have only allowed 7 points in their last 8 quarters of play. They've given up 14 points in their last 10 quarters of play.
Yeah.
At some point, this defense has got to get its recognition. And as gifted and as great as Josh Allen is and can be, this game is a terrible matchup for him because he doesn't have Josh Palmer. He's relying on an undersized speedster in Khalil Shakir. Dalton Kincaid's awesome, but again, the Chiefs are always willing to give up something in there. When it comes to Spags, I'll give up something because I believe the bigger picture is we can stop you here.
Yeah.
And I think if Spags, in my opinion, what's going to happen in this matchup is Spags is going to say, we'll allow Josh Allen and Dalton Kincaid to have a nice connection in this game because we think the only way they can beat us on the defensive side is if James Cook has 150 yards and 2 touchdowns.
It's been the red zone defense, man. Like we'll let teams. It's that bend don't break kind of mentality. We put the clamps on teams when they get within the 20.
Right.
It's crazy, bro.
The Bills have faced 2 of the top 10 scoring defenses in the league, the Patriots and Falcons. They averaged 17 points per game in those games and lost both of them.
And then like a couple weeks later, we saw what the Dolphins just did to the Falcons. So it's like, bro.
The Bills have faced one of the top 10 scoring offenses in the league. It was the Patriots. They lost that game. And even though Drake May didn't have a single touchdown pass in that game, the Patriots pretty much ran that entire game, dictated the pace, and scored 23 points, which isn't terrible.
Yep.
The Chiefs come into this matchup with the 3rd best scoring defense and the 4th best scoring offense. The Bills' defense has faced only 2 good quarterbacks all season, Lamar Jackson and Drake May. Both matchups were in Buffalo, by the way. Lamar Jackson had 279 total yards and 3 total touchdowns, scored 40 points.
Choked that game away.
And choked the game. Well, it was Derek, but you know what I mean. Yeah. Drake May had 285 total yards, completed 73% of his passes with a 101 quarterback rating. They get Patrick Mahomes this week, dude.
Yep.
Patrick Mahomes with a full stable of horses to utilize at how he sees fit.
Yep.
Now, yes, it sucks that Josh Allen still is here. We know that Jalen Moore is more than capable, especially against a banged up defense like the Bills are.
Still a good defensive line, but yeah.
Sure, Greg Russo, Joey Bosa's having a good year.
Everywhere.
Yeah, like they're banged up beyond belief. And again, this is me giving as much reverence and respect as I can to this Bills team because, again, we've had battles throughout these last several years. And I think they're going to continue to probably have battles for the next couple of years. But I'm going to be really with you, Trevor, and I want to get to your thoughts right now because I'm hogging the mic here.
No, you're good.
I don't think this game's going to be close. I genuinely do not believe this is a good matchup. This feels so much like the Chiefs and the Lions. Only this time, the Chiefs are facing an AFC opponent, and this time they have Rashee Rice.
And honestly, a far far inferior offense to worry about.
Exactly.
And I know Josh Allen can always pull plays out of his ass. He's incredible.
Well, what other running team?
Who are we worried about?
What other running offense would you compare
James
what James Cook can do other than maybe the Lions, right?
Right.
Maybe the Falcons. Oh, and what did they do against the Bills and how that went? You know, so if you look at like with the Chiefs being a limited running game, if the Chiefs say, hey, you know what? We're not going to run the ball. We're just going to throw the ball game. Would it not be the equivalence of what the Falcons were able to do because they're such a good run team? The Chiefs can handle it the same way, but as a passing offense. We're like, well, we don't believe they're secondary. We're just going to throw the ball all night and just do what we want to do because that's our style of football.
Yeah.
When it comes to James Cook, like I fear him and I reverence him because he's such a damn good running back. But to equate it to the Lions game, I saw Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery against this defense put up less than 90 rushing yards combined. In a game they needed to win too. In a game that mattered to the Lions. In a game that mostly in the first half was close. And they still could not get what they needed to get done on the ground game. Against anybody else, you watch the Lions. They're running at will. Outside of the Chiefs and Packers game, they did what they wanted whenever they wanted on the ground. There's no coincidence to that. So if I'm looking at this matchup and I'm saying, okay, how did the Bills beat the Chiefs? Yeah, Josh Allen's great, but again, limited amount of guys around him that he can throw the ball to. And we've also seen him kind of regress in his game as well. He's been making some pretty bad decisions of late because he's pressing. The only way they beat the Chiefs is if James Cook's going to run all over them. Now, the Chiefs don't have like this elite rush defense. I think they're 15th in total rushing yards allowed this season. But again, in key matchups.
When we know we need to stop a good running game, we step
Thank
up.
you.
Yeah.
What did the Chiefs do against like those premier backs?
Yeah.
Like Derrick Henry didn't do shit against this
Saquon
defense.
in the Super Bowl didn't do shit.
Right.
I mean, we got killed in the passing game.
Sure.
but
Now,
shut his ass down.
Saquon had a fine game in week 2 this year. He had a good game.
Yeah.
I'll give him that. But again, you're talking about against Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery, Derrick Henry, Ashton Genty. Like we have names here that we have a list of on good defensive or a good running back, not just rooms, but like star players the Chiefs have shut down.
Yeah. And I mean,
am I supposed to believe that James Cook that they couldn't do the same to James Cook?
Well, too, like we can. A nightmare situation for a team like the Bills that wants to control the pace, run the ball. You know, can't trust their defense right now. Is facing an offense like ours,
right?
Because we're going to go put up points. And if the Bills are chasing points, I do not see a scenario in which they win. I know that they came back in that week 1 game against the Ravens, But I think this season's gone on, we've seen that the Ravens defense has not been the Ravens defense that we know and have loved over the years, a dominant defense.
Exactly.
And obviously didn't predict Derrick Henry have 2 fumbles in that game. You know what I mean? So, or was it 1 fumble? It was a very bad time.
No, I think it was 2, actually.
I think it was
yeah.
2 fumbles in that game. So, I think if the Chiefs play a clean game on offense, because I will say the Bills are an opportunistic defense. They've found ways to get a lot of turnovers this year and force a lot of turnovers. They're good at punching the ball out and things like that. We keep the game clean. We hold on to the football, take care of the football, and score some points. I'm with you, dude. Like, I just think this is 2 different teams on 2 different trajectories right now. The past few years, these matchups, we're like, yeah, this is a 50-50 game, man. Whoever has the ball last is the kind of vibe.
Right.
You know, whoever has the ball last typically wins those games. And the only real concern in this game is what we saw last year in the matchup last year when Josh Allen had that big run against us and scored. If Josh Allen's legs get going, he can really wreck a game. I will say that. It doesn't have to just be James Cook. Typically it is. That's how they won most of their games this year. But Josh Allen, in this matchup, I can see him kind of running wild. And we've been gashed by a lot of good running quarterbacks. Even Jalen Hurts earlier in the year was kind of running all over us too. So that's been a thing that we've struggled against at times, containing the really good running quarterbacks. Even Mariota had 40-something rushing yards on us. Granted, they turned the ball over several times. They screwed themselves a lot in that game as well. But Josh Allen is a whole different beast on running the ball. So if he takes off and he's running a lot on us, push the defense in, maybe beats us over the top, that could be a scenario. But I just don't trust, outside of Shakir, who else is he throwing to, man? You know what I mean? So containing James Cook is the objective. Just in scoring. Just put up points, man. Make them chase us. You know what I mean? Make them chase us, put up points, go north of 30 again. If we go north of 30, I just don't see a scenario where the Bills can top that and beat us. Straight up. Just touchdown for touchdown. I just don't see them keeping pace with us. We got to get them off the field too, man. We got to get them off the field on 3rd downs, because you know there's going to be several 3rd and longs against this Bills team, and teams in general always find ways to convert those 3rd and longs. They're going to be aggressive. They're going to go for it on 4th down, just like the Washington was, just like Detroit was, and we stopped them several times. Those are big things. You know, you could force a team to turn the ball over and down, especially when they're in scoring position. They could take points, but they want to be aggressive against the Chiefs because they know we score points. Getting those good teams off the field when we need to is going to be vital. And just slowing James Cook down, like you said, you showed the splits. When he has big games and they win, and their wins, he's awesome. And when they're struggling and they're not controlling the pace of the game, Josh Allen's have to do everything he can to win games. They've lost several games that way. So I'm with you, man. I have no worries right now. I really don't, especially like if Rashid came back and Rashid's kind of been okay. He's slowly getting eased back and he hasn't really looked right. Maybe that injury is something we kind of underestimated him coming back from that. He's looked sluggish. That's not the case, dude. He looks elite.
Right.
He looks like he hasn't missed. He's just hitting the ground running literally, man, and has been one of the best receivers in football, maybe the best receiver in football since he's been back.
Right.
You know, 3 touchdowns in 2 weeks. Looking like a true elite weapon. I mean, that's a nightmare matchup for that Bills secondary. I don't think there's really a true answer in the league right now for what that guy's doing. We use him very similar to how Jamar Chase is used, very similar to how Puka Nacua is used. That's just a deadly weapon right now in this league, those kind of players. So, yeah, man, I feel very confident in this game. I feel like the Chiefs are going to win this one. Typically we kind of put our hands up in the air like, look, listen, if the Bills beat us, so what? But this game, not only do I feel comfortable in this game, the Chiefs really want to win this game.
They really need to.
This is different.
Yes.
This is different than the match because we were fairly confident. Like, even if the Bills beat us in times past, we still were pretty confident we were going to host the AFC Championship. We were going to win our schedule. We were going to win out most of those games. This game, we still, with us starting 0-2 this season, kind of starting off on the wrong foot this year, that puts a little more emphasis on us to go ahead and just wax these boys.
Right.
You know what I mean? That has a little more emphasis on that, I think, to go make a statement. And, man, this offense is having fun. Pat's having fun. Rashid's having fun. Xavier is playing great opportunistically. Juju's making big plays when we need them. This offense is just clicking, and we're having fun. And I just don't. This might be one of the worst defenses we faced all year.
Right. It is.
When healthy, that's not true.
Right.
But they're so banged up. And we took advantage of a banged up Ravens defense too. I mean, they're falling apart in that game. They were healthier coming into that game, but they were falling apart. We said, fuck it. We're putting the pedal to the metal, dude. Like, if they're banged up, let's go embarrass these boys.
Well, you're making a great point there too about how there's been like this effort mentality for the Chiefs, and I think that all started with
and the MVP
Andy Reid.
That Pat's on. I think he wants to keep adding to that.
Yeah, 100%.
If he goes and balls against Josh Allen, puts him 6 feet under, quickly. Dude, his numbers for MVP are going to skyrocket.
That's why I said, I believe I said it on the All Chief Dub show. I said I think that maybe it was Chief Concerns, but I said that I think the Harrison Butker struggles out the gate might have been the biggest blessing in disguise for the Chiefs, because what it's done is it's forced Andy Reid to be aggressive consistently. True. And so
we've been going for it a lot.
That's what I see in this matchup, because there's so many statements the Chiefs can make in this game. Yes, the big picture is get to the Super Bowl healthy and be ready and give yourself the best chance to win another Super Bowl. But that starts with games like this, because you have to put yourself in that position, because if the Chiefs win this game, they're inching ever closer to that divisional title again for the 10th straight time, and obviously your playoff chances go astronomically up. Will the Chiefs still make the playoffs and lose this game to the Bills? Yes. But it's going to be a much tougher road, because then you're talking about them probably more likely being a wild card team, because there's only so many games left. And again, you can make up for that later down the road, but the pressure becomes that much more immense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because then you have to win every game coming up. And I look at this game as that like I said, the what they went through with the Commanders. I think the Chiefs used that as the tune-up. Marcus Mariota being this mobile quarterback, the Chiefs utilize that as, okay, how should we handle things with the Bills, because Josh Allen's also that. They have so much film on Josh anyway. Again, like you said, like the Chiefs look at this game as like, well, we don't win against the Bills, we'll see them in the playoffs. I think the Chiefs look at this game as, we can maybe contribute to the fact the Bills may not make the playoffs.
Well, that, and like I said, the 0-2 start changed everything.
Exactly.
We know we need to go on a hot run here and try to run the table.
Right.
And that includes the Bills. Man, this is not a game we can take lightly. I think this is a game, like you said, Andy Reid pulls out some plays we kind of kept keeping up our sleeve, which we don't typically do until the playoffs.
Right.
We pull some shit out that we hadn't done in a few years and surprise some teams, especially the Bills. We always pull some stuff out of our sleeve in the playoff games. But this week, it feels like a must-win game, and I feel very confident we're going to win, man.
Yeah, man. And then you heard Patrick even talk about this match, and he goes, this could be the last time we ever play at Highmark Stadium, because obviously they're getting that new stadium next year. I think he wants to go out with saying, hey, the last time we played the Bills at that stadium, we whooped that ass.
And plus, don't you think the Chiefs are tired of losing to the Bills in regular season?
Of course.
And what better timing as far as health, the way we're rolling offensively and defensively? Let's just go.
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. What time or what happened that made that you've seen Patrick Mahomes more angry than ever before? What was the one moment? Can you remember it? Where you saw him just lose his shit on the field.
I mean, that was when the Kadarius Toney call. Yeah.
Who's that against?
Yeah.
Because yes, they didn't have to win that game.
Yeah.
But that was a scoring play.
Yeah.
That would have probably won them the game.
Yeah. We faced these guys damn near like they're a divisional foe.
Yes, these games matter to these dudes. Yeah. Yes, they can say, all right, let's concede the victory, because we'll see them in the playoffs and we'll have a whole
Pat
new.
Wanted that dub that year, 2 years ago. Yeah.
This season's different, man, because the matchup just isn't there, and the Chiefs are not in a place where they have the luxury. They can't afford the luxury of, whatever.
Yeah.
Well, they're not in that position.
Yeah.
They have to win games. And this just so happens to fall in that portion of the schedule where the Chiefs have to take these games as if they are playoff games, because you're playing for your playoff lives at this point. That might sound dramatic, but it literally is.
Even our not let alone playoffs, just our own divisional rankings right now. We're third still right now.
Right.
You know what I mean? And we've already dropped one to the Chargers. We got 2 games coming up with the Broncos in these next several weeks, and that's been a team that's a tough defense.
And the final point to this, Trevor, is also the fact that the Chiefs have a kind of a lay it all out kind of thing for them this week too, because they have a bye week right after.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Fuck it.
If they have to run the ball a little bit more, Kareem Hunt's going to be able to rush the ball 20 times this week, because you know why? He'll have 2 weeks to rest.
Yeah. That's a good point.
Yeah, if Patrick needs to go out there and lay it out a little bit, which I'm, again, not for, damn it, I don't want to see him do it.
Yeah.
But he can say, you know what? I can get some treatment, this next week and the week after that before practice and stuff. This team has the ability to kind of go balls to the wall.
That's true.
With that ability to have. If they were going to Denver next week, that's not something they're going to probably do. You know what I mean? In fact, they'd probably be a little more conservative in this game against the Bills, because that Broncos game would matter more. Because they have that week in between, I think that could be something also to pay attention to as to why the Chiefs are overly aggressive. Now, Trev, I want to get your key players in this matchup, and then obviously if you have a score prediction, I'd love to hear that as well, man.
This has got to be an Xavier-worthy game. This just feels like a great – he's had – since Rasheed's back, and really all year, he hasn't had those big explosive games. This just feels like a game where we really use his speed. And he's really been kind of coming along after that injury, and his ankle hadn't been right. this feels like a great moment for that ankle to be kind of fully back, and his speed hasn't been really what it has been. Even after the catch, he still looked a little slower than normal. He's been getting ramped up, though. This feels like a game where the defense of the Bills, which is already a bad unit right now, banged up, unhealthy unit, they're already mismatched severely, and I think they understand that. They know that. I think they're really going to try to take away Trav and Rasheed from beating them in the zone, and I think there's going to be so many openings for big plays downfield, or even just like after the quick touches to him and like maybe an in route jet sweep stuff, putting him in motion. I think he's going to just be a nightmare matchup, and I think this is a big game where Xavier has 100+ yards from scrimmage. He's due, man. This just feels like a great matchup because, like I said, a banged up secondary, a banged up defense. I think Pat's gonna have time to make plays. Things can develop downfield. I think Xavier's gonna break free on several plays, beat these guys over the top when they're focused on Rasheed and Travis over the middle and beating the zone in space. I think this is gonna open up a lot of opportunity for Xavier Worthy to have a massive blow up game here. And he, like I said, he's due.
Yeah.
You know, remember like what last year when the opening game against the Ravens when he had two scores, one rushing, one receiving.
Yeah.
I think this has that kind of a moment because I think with the lack of running game, we're gonna want to get him in motion, maybe some in-round jet sweep toss plays to Xavier Worthy and let him eat bouncing outside. I think his speed's gonna be too much for this defensive unit to contain. And I mean, I think we're going to score so many different ways. I think our offense can kind of have their way here. I think anybody could eat in this game. Even Kareem Hunt, once again, I think this is a good matchup again. If he gets the bulk of the carries, which I fully expect him to. But this just feels like a blow spot for Xavier Worthy to take advantage of this banged up secondary that has no chance really against his speed. So I think that, and I think defensively, I was having a tough time kind of figuring out who I wanted to go with defensively, but this just feels like another 𝚂𝙿𝙾 type of game where we've been utilizing him as a QB spy a lot, and I think he's one of the better size for size guys that can get after Josh Allen because he has that similar speed and he can kind of match Josh Allen's size and speed as an ideal spy, and he's gotten really good at it. He hasn't really been that in years past, but this year specifically, even like in Lamar's game against the Ravens, he was dominating as a spy. Drew Tranquill too has been good in the spy position as well, but I think, like I said, the size difference and what he can do against Josh Allen and kind of keeping him, with that lateral speed to sideline speed that Josh Allen beats a lot of guys on. I think Leo can match that. Leo's fast as shit for his size, and I think he can contain Josh really well. So I'm expecting maybe not a big box score game for Leo, but just doing his job at a good, and containing Josh Allen, which is very hard to do. But I think containing Josh Allen in this running game is the key to success here, key to victory on defense. And I expect Leo to do a really good job. So I think Xavier Worthy, blow-up game, and then 𝚂𝙿𝙾 is doing his job and playing a good, clean game and containing Josh Allen. And then score.
Yeah.
I think we score 30 again, man, 30+ again. It just feels like our offense is rolling. This is a bad matchup for the Bills, really bad matchup for the Bills defense. I think we score 34 points here. 34-26. No, I'm not going to give them that many points. 34-23.
Okay.
Maybe some garbage time points. I think our defense is too damn good right now, and I think Josh Allen's struggling because he's gonna have to throw the ball. He's gonna have to run around and try to make plays. His defense is on it. I don't care if it's on the road or home right now. This is a bad matchup for the Bills. So 34-23 is my score.
I like it. I like it a lot. So this is gonna be a game where Patrick's gonna throw the ball a lot.
Yeah.
I expect his numbers to look really good. I think there's going to be a lot of dudes that #EGE, everybody's got to eat. I think that you're going to see, I think at least 4 receivers have at least 40 yards. I'm not even kidding when I say that. I really think that you're going to see Travis Kelce.
Spread the ball around so much, man.
I think, and in a weird way, I think Juju's going to be a guy that has a good stat game. I think that Juju's going to have like 55 yards and maybe a touchdown.
Yeah.
'Cause for whatever reason, Juju always has good games against the Bills. But with their limited linebacker room also, I believe Matt Milano's going to be out this game too.
Yeah.
Man, even though the Chiefs are going to run the ball a lot, pass the ball a lot, they're going to have situational downs where Kareem Hunt's going to have to play a factor. And he has been he's literally been statistically better of converting 3rd and 4th downs than the tush
He's
push.
the best 4th down option in the NFL.
It's
unreal.
over the tush push.
It's
dude.
unreal.
It's
dude.
literally an illegal play. He's better than an illegal play. Say that out loud.
Yeah.
Kareem Hunt's going to be the X factor of the offense for that reason alone.
I love it.
Because what the Bills are going to come into this matchup expecting and anticipating is, all right, Patrick's going to throw all 3 downs. And maybe he will. But I do believe that the Chiefs are going to say, hey, let's use that against them. There's going to be a lot of light boxes, where they're not going to have a lot of stacked defenses. And, the Bills love to run zone. They're very zone
They've
heavy.
struggled against running backs too.
Right.
This year.
Yes.
Like,
they're
they've been good against like defending the flat, like running backs catching the ball. They've been really good at that.
Yeah.
But pure running, like just taking it to you.
I think they're the third worst rushing defense in the league.
Yeah, man.
That is why I think Kareem Hunt's going to have his biggest game of the season.
Bro,
I think he's
badass it would be if Kareem Hunt went out there and rushed for like 100 yards plus.
How
badass.
I honestly would not be shocked if the Chiefs give him the chance. I think if he rushes the ball like
the bye week's looming.
Yes.
Just let it all out, baby.
If he rushes the ball 17 to 18, 20 times, dude, if Kareem gets 17 to 20 rushes, I think he does get 100 yards because this is that bad of a defense. And he's so hard to bring down as it is. I think he's the key to the offense in this game, even though, like I said, we all know Patty's going to do Patty things. That extra dimension to this offense where they can offset everything and slow it down a little bit, maybe limit Josh Allen's possessions, maybe put more pressure on Josh Allen, have to be efficient with those possessions, taking the crowd out of it. It's like 3rd 3, and everybody's going freaking nuts because that place gets loud on Highmark, and Kareem Hunt rushes for 17 yards. And you're like, fuck! And then people just get mad, and they're like, damn it, fresh set. It's like, and that's been all game. Then you hear the commentators going, man, Kareem has just been on his game all game. And you know me, I'm going to be on my fucking Twitter just going nuts, talking about Kareem Hunt because he's my guy. That's what I anticipate in this game. I think he's going to get like 17 to 20 rushes, 80 to 100 rush yards, and a touchdown. That's the kind of game I expect from Kareem Hunt.
Love to see that, bro.
Defensively, you guys know I defend him to the end of the earth. He's not my key player, but I have to say this real quick. Chris Jones has got to be great again. Okay, don't make that a political thing. I'm being serious. Like, he's got to start playing better football. For the first time, I think, in years, last week, against the Commanders, a very formidable matchup for him, he had 0 pressures on one-on-ones. That's not good or acceptable.
Yep.
Chris Jones has got to be better. That's talking about one-on-ones. I know he gets double-teamed a lot. He had plenty of one-on-ones against the Commanders and did not win. A single one. Got to get pressures, dude. So I just wanted to throw that out there. I'm expecting better from Chris Jones. My key player is Shamari Connor. The reason why is because this is the matchup that I believe Spag's going to start to re-emphasize on the corner blitz. And Shamari Connor is one of the best on this defense.
We know Josh Allen struggles against those too. So
yes.
As far as like seeing the disguise, like unveiling the disguise.
Blindside corner blitzes.
Yeah.
I think, and maybe not even just Shamari Connor, but he's the one that comes to mind first. Shamari Connor, obviously Trent does it plenty. You might even see a safety like a Jaden Hicks, Brian Cook, guys like that, where they get opportunities to go and just uncontested hit Josh Allen.
Yeah,
that's what I think is going to happen.
Justin Reed was so good at those too.
Yes, dude.
Justin Reed on those. So.
They don't. With those guys gone now, the collective kind of has to pick their spots.
Brian Cook's got speed, and he can get there too. Yeah,
I fully anticipate Spags got some fun stuff written up for this game in particular. They have this game circled, especially again. I keep emphasizing it with the bye week right behind it. I think they're going to let some stuff go, and they're going to really be aggressive defensively in this game because they know their one-on-ones can beat the Bills' skill position players. Like, you put Trent McDuffie and Jalen Watson one-on-one with their receivers, they're going to beat those receivers.
Yeah.
They're going to win those downs. So I think he's going to pin his ears back and send the dogs a lot against Josh Allen because Josh Allen has been struggling against pressure this season. They have a very good offensive line. Let's not mince words here.
Yeah.
Bills have a very good offensive line. But the Bills know that their offense is predicated on what they can do in the run game. That is literally how they've been all season. That's how it's going to continue because they just don't they have a great running back and a bunch of mad receivers. They have to win in the run game. So that is why I think Spags is going to send the dogs, clog up those lanes, not let James Cook and Josh Allen get cheap yards. This is a different type of matchup for the Bills and for the Chiefs. It's a game the Chiefs are taking very seriously. So I have Kareem Hunt and Shamari Connor as my key players. I don't think the Chiefs are going to kick a field goal in this game. I think they're going to continue to do what they've been doing, and that is to be ultra aggressive offensively, take it to your opponent, do not ease up on them at all. This is a statement game. Yeah. I think this is going to be very similar to the Lions game, except worse. I think the Chiefs are going to score 5 touchdowns in this game. I think they're going to do what they want when they want offensively. If they play good situational football, what have they done all year? They've won. Every time they play good situation,
care of the ball
not stupid penalties, not stupid careless turnovers or both.
Yeah.
They win, and they win with ease. Dude, the Chiefs are averaging per victory. Their margin is 18.5 points. They've been beating teams by 18.5 points.
Yeah.
And I think that's where they're going to be right around this game. I think they're going to blow out the Bills. I think they win this game 35-17. I don't think the Bills are going to be able to move the ball consistently enough. I think Josh Allen's going to be pressing. He's going to have a couple turnovers in this game.
Yeah, it was hard for me
sack,
to
pick off.
give them 30 plus or 20 plus points. But
Yeah.
I just in these matchups, I think there's always garbage time too. But I just trust Josh Allen to at least make this game competitive.
Yeah.
These games typically are. Blowing them out would be a surprise because we haven't really ever done that against them. But timing is everything. Matchups are everything.
Everything.
And I think this is a terrible spot for the Bills.
Right.
At home or on the road, either way, it doesn't matter to me. Like I just think this is a bad matchup for them right now. They're facing the best team that they've faced all year, and we've seen them get smacked around by lesser teams.
Much lesser teams.
You know what I mean? So yeah, man, and they're more banged up right now maybe than all year. And this is just the worst timing for them to face us, in my opinion. So I'm right there with you.
So I have 35-17. What do you have? 34-23?
Yeah.
So we both have double-digit victories for the Chiefs in this one, and that's what I very much
Feels
anticipate.
like a comfortable win. This has comfortable win written all over for the third, fourth week in a row now. This feels like, you know what I mean? So this is fun. This is fun. The feeling this way is fun. Like this game does matter. Like going in. I mean, this is a must win. We got to be honest with ourselves too. This is the Chiefs need to win this game. This isn't like I said in past years where we're like, if we lose, we know we'll see them again. We'll beat them. I want to beat them now, and I want to beat them again.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I think if we beat them right now, there's not a chance. There's a good chance we don't see them again.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
This is a bad situation for them in their own division.
Oh, and I'll say this to kind of piggyback off your off your initial prediction. If the Chiefs beat the Bills in this game, I'm going to fully jump on your bandwagon. The Patriots are going to win that division.
They've won 5 games in a row.
Yeah, because they have the tiebreaker with the Bills. They would be up 2 games on the Bills with the easiest schedule left in the league.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm giving the Patriots the division if the Chiefs beat the Bills this week.
And then their schedule's so easy. Granted, one of their tougher matchups. Honestly, I know the Browns' offense isn't good, but that's one of the best defenses in football. And Drake was dicing them up.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So like that was an impressive win too. So I think the Patriots have arrived, man. 5 straight wins in their own division. They already got the Bills. Bills 1-0 in the hole. In Buffalo, that's a massive game. So they're in trouble in their own division right now. So if they lose and they get their asses kicked against us, it's not looking too good moving forward, man. That like some coaches might be in the hot seat, some things might be changing pretty quickly, and this could crumble fairly quickly for the Bills if we go out there and wax that ass.
That's what they should anticipate then. We have given you guys our thoughts, our viewpoints, our predictions on this game. Give them to us because it is now time for Speak It. Let's get to you guys. Sure, what are the people asking? What are the people saying?
All right, so we got Chase Bussenitz. Sorry if I'm butchering that last name, man. Sorry. Chase, our guy Chase in the chat. Would you trade Tyquan Thornton for a running back or defensive lineman? I don't know. That's what you think.
Oh,
Seems to
buddy.
be the talk of the town, man.
Yeah, that really took off this week, didn't it? That's wild. I wonder who came up with that. I put it out there this week, guys, and I'll say it on the show now that it's being asked to me. I'm not just going to bring it up unwarranted. 3 weeks now, the last 3 games, Tyquan Thornton has 1 catch for 39 yards. And you guys know that I've openly described him as a blessing in disguise for this team. A surprising blessing in disguise for this team. He was awesome for this team when Rashee Rice was out. Rashee Rice is back. And now there's a pecking order. And with that, Thornton falls down a few pegs. And he is clearly not in the Chiefs' game plan. I understand that people say, well, there could be injuries, so you got to keep him. But here's the thing, guys, that you always, the Chiefs, and I try to view things like the Chiefs do now, and I see the way Brett Veach handles things. You always have to be thinking ahead. And if we're sitting here theorizing on the Chiefs having to trade for somebody, that means what? They're going to have to give up at least 1 pick to go and get a player, right? Which means, in that scenario, the Chiefs would have 1 fewer pick to utilize in next year's draft. And we know the Chiefs value draft picks. So, you have to ask the question, if it's inevitable that the Chiefs are going to trade for an X player, for whatever guy out there, edge rush, defensive line, whatever, you have to assume they're going to have less picks next season. So, why not reallocate at least a pick in return for a guy who, although has been good for your team, is clearly not in your game plan anymore, is just a stash player at this point, and you're not re-signing him.
And he's not even a special teamer either.
Right. So it's like Thornton doesn't even really fit where the Chiefs are moving as they move forward. So I think that's where he's at his absolute value. Most value is being a trade chip for the Chiefs to help them reallocate a pick that they may have to trade in the next couple of days to go and get a player that would actually be of value for this team moving forward. So yes, I would 100% make that trade to get a player or get a pick, more likely a pick, but either way, I think that's the right way of going about it.
Agreed. Billy Hodge, what's up, Billy? If the Chiefs don't trade McDuffie before the trade deadline, does that mean they want to keep him in a second? And a second question is, how important is the trade deadline for the Chiefs?
Well, the trade deadline, I'm going to answer that first. It is very important for the Chiefs. I think they absolutely have to make a move on defensive line in particular because of the fact that they just don't have enough to manufacture a consistent pass rush. Can they overcome that? Yes, but that's going to be very difficult to do so because of the Chiefs' Super Bowl runs. They've usually had very good pass rushes. In 2022, they finished second in the sacks. 2023, I think they were second or third. Those are back-to-back Super Bowls, and those played big reasons as to why they won.
Yep.
So, yeah, you need to up the pass rush a little. I'm not saying they're going to go out there and find Dwight Freeney, but you got to go and get another guy that can make a difference in this defense, and I think those guys are going to be out there. If they don't trade Trent McDuffie, I don't think there's any chance they trade Trent McDuffie right now. There's zero chance that happens. But I do believe that it would very much happen this offseason when his contract is going to be in line because he's going to have that fifth-year option, and the Chiefs could say, hey, we either extend you or we just play you on this option and then tag you the year later, or we maximize on your value and get a first-round pick in return, probably a later first-round pick, but still a first-round pick, and then someone else pays you that money, and then we just keep the recycling going. We got 4 awesome seasons from Trent McDuffie. Now someone else is going to pay him $120 million, and we can stay cheap at quarterback and keep that rotation going. So that's what I think that the trade talks are going to really start heating up, not during the trade deadline.
Cell 32 alt, speak it. If you could get either or and not both, would you rather trade for Jermaine Johnson or Breece Hall? Our pass rush is going to bite us in the ass if not fixed, in my opinion.
Well, I want to hear your thoughts on this, Trevor, but I will say real quickly, there's no question in my mind I'd rather have Jermaine Johnson.
Yeah.
Because he plays a real role of need. And you guys know, again, I value running back, and I'd love to see a running back here. But with the context added to Breece Hall, knowing that they're going to have to give up an earlier pick to get him, and knowing that you're going to have to give him a contract that's going to pay him $15+ million a year, that's just not the Chiefs' way. So I just don't see that being a realistic option.
Yeah, this comes down to luxury versus need, in my opinion. And I think we have a need at pass rush and getting guys that can collect sacks as the season progresses and into the postseason. How you said, like during our 2 Super Bowl victories, how important it was to get guys that can finish the plays and get after the opposing quarterbacks and get sacks. That's massive.
Yeah.
So Jermaine Johnson would obviously be the need, in my opinion. A luxury would be having Breece Hall in this offense. I mean, that would be an absolute. The league would be like, God damn it, if they found out the Chiefs somehow found a way to get Breece Hall on the cheap into things, because they're wanting a 3rd rounder for him, and I'm not willing to get that. We don't need a running back that bad. We need a running back. We need more depth right now for sure. But splurging on an elite runner like Breece Hall and giving up big assets like a 3rd rounder and possibly paying and extending him is just something that I'm not on board with right now, because the entire dynastic run, we've never needed that. Granted, would it be nice? Hell yeah, it'd be nice. But we've seen guys like McKinnon, come into this offense and thrive. After we traded Tyreek Hill, we needed a big playmaker. He stepped up and was awesome for us. We've had guys like that, so we don't need big name running backs. It would be cool. It'd be cool to have an Alvin Kamara on this offense. It'd be cool to have guys like Breece Hall. My God, that'd be insane to have a true elite runner. But we don't feed running backs enough as far as pure rushers go to make sense of getting a guy like Breece Hall and then paying him. Because if you trade for him, you're going to extend him. It would make no sense to go get him for half of a season and then not keep bringing him back for another few seasons, or at least 2-3 more years. I'm not willing to do that. I think we can find guys in the draft moving forward. I think Rashard Smith has juice. I think Andy Reid's going to find a way to utilize him in the passing game. I think Kareem Hunt's the best short yardage weapon in the NFL. So I don't think we have to have a massive need at running back in order enough to constitute going to get a Breece Hall and giving him a 3rd round pick. But Jermaine Johnson, fuck yeah. I'd be on board with getting a guy like that can be a game wrecker on defense, to help out the aging Chris Jones, to help out the lack of game finishing or play finishing sacks like what George Kalafdis has been struggling and getting there. So getting a guy like Mike Pennell and adding a guy like Jermaine Johnson would be, yeah, I'd be on board with that. That'd be an awesome boost for this defensive line for sure. So I'd definitely be on board more with the Jermaine Johnson side of things. 𝚂𝙿𝙸𝚂𝙾 follows that question up with Speak It. Makes you wonder if Felix would have made any difference this year.
I mean, at this point, man, that dude's on a milk cart.
Yeah.
I mean,
Where's he at?
He's not, I haven't seen him on the field at all. And
Yeah.
I've lost all hope that he's even going to be a capable backup type player in this league. I didn't want to jump off the bandwagon just yet because I saw him play at K-State. He was a very good player, but he just hasn't transitioned, man. And that pick looks worse and worse as time goes on. So there's just no defending it. He's just not. I just don't believe he's ever going to be somebody of worth in this team, probably in the league, to be honest.
Yeah. 𝚂𝙿𝙸𝚂𝙾 also Speak It. World Series Game 7 tonight predictions.
Yeah, this has been a wild World Series, man, and I love the fact that it's going right to the brink of everything. You look at the Dodgers, you see all the star power, and you see that this team has been a damn near dynasty now, and Shohei is just the craziest thing we've ever seen on a baseball diamond. I'm picking the Blue Jays. I think the Blue Jays have been the team that has been really the Achilles heel to the Dodgers in the way they play. They can step toe-to-toe with them when it comes to batting power, when it comes to hitting, pitching, everything, man. The Dodgers or the Blue Jays have been right in lockstep. They haven't been, intimidated by, like I said, the star power, the presence of such a juggernaut like the Shohei Ohtani and Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman and Max Muncy and, all the great pitching they have. I think the Blue Jays are going to make the upset, man. It's going to piss a lot of people off. But like I said, Vladdy Guerrero is batting out of his freaking mind right now. I know that Springer's still hurt. I don't know if he's going to go or not tonight. But I believe the Blue Jays situationally are just the better team. I don't think they're the better team overall on a paper standpoint. Obviously, I think that is the Dodgers. But when it comes to situational baseball, I actually trust the Blue Jays just a little bit more, and I'm going to pick them to win this game. So I'm going to say Blue Jays.
Yeah, I mean, self-admittedly not a big baseball guy, but I mean, I'm going to just take the other side of the coin here and just take the Dodgers, take the talent, and just I think this is a moment for Shohei to show the world again who he is. And I think he can single-handedly go out there and take this game on both sides of the ball and just be who he's always been. Have another great moment here and for go down in history, as a champ again. And I just think he's the guy that I think when the game's the biggest, the stars shine the biggest, especially in. But the thing is with baseball though, I mean you're right. I mean stars don't always matter in baseball, man. Like managing a game, doing the little things, and being a little bit more consistent can outpace the great stars in a game like baseball. Because momentum is so big in baseball, and like just playing a clean game and doing the little things right can affect the game so much. No matter what other stars you're facing. So I mean, this has been a great series. I mean, Game 7, you can't ask for more than that in a World Series, especially these two super talented teams. But I'm just gonna go with the Dodgers just to play devil's advocate on your take there.
You said you can show, hey, I'm still the best man on the planet. You know what I mean?
Bad man, bro. Dustin Norton, Speak It. Does it annoy you more with the vagueness over Simmons that the Chiefs/League knew about the issue, whatever it is, before the draft?
No, because we all knew about that. That was given access to everybody. So that wasn't the surprise. You guys know the issue I've had, man. It was just the vagueness the Chiefs had the moment Josh Simmons was gone. I didn't like the way the Chiefs handled that thing out the gate. I think they could have handled it much better, like they decided to weeks afterwards. And if you guys notice, I haven't been talking about that. You know why? Because they gave us some real clarity, and that's all I was asking. So now that they have, I've left it alone, and I just can't wait to see Josh Simmons come back. And that's that. So no, I think this was a concern coming into the draft, but we all knew there were maturity issues, there were family situations that he was dealing with, but the Chiefs saw talent. They saw an opportunity to go and steal a guy late in the first round that otherwise was probably the best overall tackle in this entire draft. So therefore, they took a risk on him, took a gamble on him, and I totally understand why. Dude's damn good at football, and I think he's going to continue to be. Hopefully, these things off the football field continue to work themselves out, and he can focus on his career, man.
Yeah, just need to get him back in the building, man.
For sure.
Mac 10, if there is a rivalry for the Chiefs, it's unpopular, but it's the Eagles. 1-1 against each other in the Super Bowl and 2-1 head-to-head in the regular season, and Hurts plays his best against Mahomes.
It's hard to disagree with that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's the closest thing I think to the rival. I mean, the biggest games matter the most as far as rivalry goes, and that's what made the Brady Manning thing so important and fun. Was those two guys going against us several times in the postseason and trading dubs, right? You know what I mean? And then Manning being honestly the better regular season quarterback most years and getting the MVPs, but falling flat several times to Manning and then eventually getting his revenge. And yeah, that was a far more fun narrative and consistent narrative. Like I said, the one in my opinion, granted, Lamar hasn't beat us in the postseason, but he's had the several MVPs. You know, he's been the better statistic quarterback, you know, in years over Mahomes. And even in big Mahomes years, Lamar's had insane numbers. Right. And had maybe his most insane numbers last year, and they give Josh Allen the fucking MVP for some reason. You know, I mean, this is wild. But anyway, like I just don't think there's truly a solidified rivalry. There just hasn't been. The league wants one so bad, the Chiefs just keep finding, you know, new victims in the postseason. People they need a consistent. I mean, like I said, if the Bills beat us at least once in the postseason, yeah, we can have that conversation. But everyone knows what's going to happen when we meet in the postseason. That's not a rivalry if you know what the outcome is going to be. Yep. You know, when all the money is on the Chiefs every time that we meet in the postseason in Vegas, no one's worried about it. There is no real rivalry there. There's no 50-50 chance. Maybe, you know, Josh was due. Josh has been due for 4 fucking times. Right. You know what I mean? Like, dude, like, get over it. Right. Like, it's just, that's not a rivalry at this point. Justin Orton. I can't remember their record, but wouldn't a win put us over them in the standings as far as the Bills matchup?
Yeah, because the Chiefs would be 6-3, and they would be 5-3.
Yep.
So yeah, because they've already had their bye week.
They'd be deeper in a hole in their.
And they would have, we'd have the bye. They'd have the Chiefs would have the tiebreaker too.
Yeah, and
so in every way, yeah.
And as far as standings, if we, you know, moving forward, if we take care of our division, because they're already down 1, man, to the Patriots, who's the top of their division right now. Right. So that's big. We're not down 1 to the team that's in the top of our division right now. The Broncos are the top of our division. We still have 2 games against them moving forward, so we can go take care of that and split with the Chargers, and we'll be golden, man. Right. Mac 10, speak it. Glad you hit it earlier. This is a big game for KC, not only for potential seeding, but also they need to catch the Chargers and Broncos. Their schedules are relatively easy. Also, KC wins 34-24.
It's a good score.
I
think that was Nick Wright and Clay Windler's score prediction. 34-24.
My gut is telling me not to give the Bills that much points just because of the way our defense has been playing and the lack of trust I have in the offense of the Bills right now. But I have so much respect in these matchups. These teams will just find ways to win because this is the Super Bowl for most teams when they go against Chiefs, but especially the Bills. Yeah. This is the game where the Bills will do all the craziest shit they can possibly do to find ways to score points. They're going to be as aggressive as they can be on 4th downs. You just know they're going to try to find ways to be aggressive and find ways to score. And I trust Josh Allen. He's so good. You know what I mean? Like, he's found ways to score against us, whether it's with his legs or in his arm. You know, a weird Keon Coleman play could happen, you know, where they beat us over the top somehow. He extends the plays and finds Keon Coleman, who's done jack shit this year, will somehow find a way to score against us in some way. But I think a lot of that could be garbage time, too. That's why I gave them the edge to at least get 23 points. But if they score, you know, 18 and lower, I will not be shocked in any way. Justin Norton. Okay, I will ask. Speak it. Hollywood Brown or Tyquan Thornton?
As far as what?
In the chat, there's been a lot of chatter, and you know, people talking amongst themselves in our chat here about they'd rather trade Hollywood Brown over and keep Tyquan Thornton.
I think that, you know what this is. I think this is a very prime example of what happened with the Justin Ross situation. And I know that Tyquan's been more proven than Justin Ross, but there seems to be like this cult following that certain players get that I think kind of clouds the judgment of the fan base. If you like Tyquan Thornton better, that's fine. There's no question in my mind who the better receiver is. It's Hollywood Brown. Hollywood Brown has caught 3 touchdowns in his last 3 games. Hollywood Brown has been an effective asset in this offense far more than Tyquan Thornton has been. Tyquan Thornton has been a good deep threat without question, but there's a reason why, guys, and you can't argue with the facts here. The last 3 weeks, Tyquan Thornton has been a complete non-factor. He played 5 snaps against the Commanders.
I understand what they're saying. Like when he has been on the field, he's been more productive than Hollywood Brown has.
I get that, but I also think that's because of the fact that Hollywood Brown, he has more of a respect from the defense. Yeah, he gets more of a, you know, like whenever they're lining up against a defender, they usually have better defenders on Hollywood Brown than they would on Tyquan Thornton. Because like I said, Tyquan is more of a novelty. He's more of a gimmicky player where you know what he's going to do. Yeah. He's just going to run and hope that ball lands in his hands. Like to be honest with you guys, there's a reason why Tyquan Thornton was a free agent this year that the Chiefs just went and picked up. because the Patriots gave up on him as a former second-round pick. Hollywood Brown is an actual valued commodity in this
we paid
league.
the man.
Yeah, Hollywood Brown. If both guys are free agents right now, and you could get them both for the same amount of money, I guarantee you that more teams are getting Hollywood Brown because he's a better overall football player. He's a better route runner.
Yeah.
He has better hands. He's just the better football player. So there's no question in my mind who I'm taking. It's Hollywood Brown.
Yeah, for sure. Let's see. James T. Kirk. Which announced team is your favorite announced team to listen to when the Chiefs are on?
Which announced team?
Announcers. Yeah.
I think my favorite when it comes, because I like people that make me think, that are really good at on the fly making good points about something maybe I didn't see. My favorite right now of the national guys is probably Greg Olson. I'm a real big fan of him. I think that I understand why they did what they did because Tom Brady's the bigger name, but I'm a big fan of Greg Olson. But I'm also going to say, guys, I think Tom Brady's actually gotten really good.
Third leg Greg, baby.
Yeah, that's very true. Hurricanes, dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We'll listen to the song. It's funny as fuck.
All right.
Tom Brady is becoming one of the better ones.
Yeah, no doubt.
I will definitely say that. I think
he looks like Dracula on there.
dude,
But yeah.
that Botox is killing me. But no, he's really settled in. You could tell like he's always obviously had the knowledge,
Yeah.
but it was like the comfortability. You could tell like he was
Got
kind of
good
pressing.
charisma.
He's starting to really be fluid and be efficient with his wording. And but yeah, I would say Greg Olson's probably the top dog for me for sure.
Yeah, I agree. I think Greg Olson, that crew has been really good. I think he has his brother in the crew there too, which is cool. Yeah, the whole dynamic there is cool.
Yep.
He's definitely one of the best for sure. James C. Kirk, Terry McLaurin is an awesome player. What's the Commanders' ceiling with Jaden and Scary Terry? I hope they get much better going forward. Those are some good and likable guys. Well, I mean, Terry McLaurin might be out another couple weeks. He re-aggravated that quad injury. So, I mean, that's been a nagging thing for him. He's dealt with other injuries along the way with it, too. Debo has not been the same guy since coming back from his injury, that little nagging injury, and he hasn't been good the last couple weeks. I don't know how you feel about Washington, but, I mean, they got some things they need to get right. That secondary has been pretty bad. They've been getting shredded.
It feels like a lost season.
Yeah,
that's what it feels
it
like.
really
It
does.
feels like the Commanders came into this season with a lot of expectation, as they should, because they have one of the better young quarterbacks. They have a very good skill position group around him, good offensive line, decent enough defense, and they just cannot stay healthy.
They can't run the ball effectively.
Yeah, I mean, it just when you're relying on a guy that has like 7 last names, and
Corey Cross.
when they call him Bill because
I like that kid, but their O line's pretty bad at run blocking.
Right.
So yeah.
And they, like I said, they just been banged up across the board. I feel bad because I think that Commanders team's much better than what their record's probably going to indicate at the end of the season, which might be a blessing in disguise for them though, because they'll probably get an earlier pick.
Yeah.
And they can build around Jaden Daniels even more so because I think they're going to have a lot of money in cap
Very
space
well
as well.
coached team.
Yeah, Dan
It's
Quinn's
just-
awesome.
Yeah, I mean,
And Cliff Kingsbury's
Cliff's
obviously a
the
great
man.
OC.
I love Cliff. Yeah, like I think they got bright minds over there.
Yeah.
It's just roster wise, man. They're a little older. McLaurin's not getting any younger either.
Bobby Wagner.
Debo's older and a lot of miles on him as well. Bobby Wagner's still playing great, but
Yeah.
like slower. He's not the same guy he used to be. Granted, made a play against us, you know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, I think this Jaden's gonna, I think, tough it out and play this week. But I mean, keep putting him out there. He keeps getting hurt. It's just, this season's as far as Washington goes, just been a tough one, man. That division's pretty much under wraps already. I think Philly's already got that thing taken care of, in my opinion. So, and the Cowboys still a good team, but Philly's the name of that division for sure. So we'll see. They could make a run, but I don't think it's going to happen. Dustin Norton, Lance, are you going to mention the Chiefs' concerns for Friday as far as trading and things like that go?
Friday?
Isn't Friday the trade deadline?
No. I think he's talking about the show that we're supposed to be doing. So,
Oh,
yeah, there's So Trevor and I went to a concert the other night. Full disclosure, we saw some bands that there's one band we'd seen a lot in our lifetime, and there's a band that we've never seen in our lifetime, and it was really good to see them. As the show was going on, I heard my phone going off.
oh,
And long story short, I was officially invited to a Chief Concerns episode that 96.5 The Fans, Carrington Harrison's supposedly going to be on. Just to kind of give you guys a precursor of what's going on, basically, kind of what I was alluding to with the whole Tyquan Thornton trade talks. The last couple weeks, I have been putting that out there on social media, and I get nothing but hateful rhetoric in response because Chiefs fans don't want to trade him, which is fine. But it was getting a lot of attention, and I just left it as it is and everything. And Sometimes when I'm driving the car, I'll turn on local radio to kind of hear if I'm, missing any breaking news or what's going on in the latest of this, guys injured or the matchups, and maybe they have a good guest on, whatever the case is. And I had heard Carrington pretty much verbatim bring up my trade scenario that I had just the day after, and this is stemming from also previous instances that this has happened before, that Carrington had outwardly disagreed that, or pretended like he didn't do this, and in all actuality it's very dumb, but I find it funny and I find it flattering that some of my takes, my content, makes it on the airwaves of Kansas City from people that for whatever reason cannot stand me, and they want to deny that they do that, and they want to talk down about the following that I have. They want to bring up the numbers of the followers that I have. But what's weird is if I'm just some troll, if I'm just some guy that means nothing, I seem to mean enough to where you take my work and then you mention me on your shows. And this is going to be something, I guess, that's going to be discussed on the show on Friday. Marcus Dash, Tasia Dash, Jason Dunn are all my brothers. I love those guys. They want to kind of bridge the gap. I'm not sure that's going to be what happens. I'm going to show up because I gave them my word. I'm doing it in good faith. I have no animosity towards anybody. But I don't think that's on the other side. The other person that's going to be there in Carrington doesn't believe I'm going to show up. Doesn't obviously like anything about me, but I don't really care about that. I gave my word to my buddies, and I'm going to do that. I'm going to show up. I don't know what's going to really happen. I don't know how interested I really am in all this. It's definitely given me some insight of what I should probably focus my energy on, to be honest with you guys. But regardless, I'll take the noise and I'll just sit there and listen to whatever he has to say, and then I'll ask a couple questions and I'll be done with it.
Yeah. You know how I stand on all that shit, bro.
Yeah.
It's yeah. Energy not well spent in my opinion, but
and some of it it does follow me a little bit because, like I said, I put it out there. I let people know, like, hey, this is kind of funny, like this tweet and then this segment, and it's like, wow, that's really coincidental that just happened. So I have brought it on myself a little bit, but it just, the energy that's focused towards me from some of these guys and saying that I've been passed up by my peers and all this other nonsense. I don't know where all that's coming. That sounds like there's just some hard feelings, and that's fine. I don't really, like I said, I'm not really concerned about it. I'm just going to go in there because I gave my guys my word, and we'll hear what he has to say. Then I'll ask a few questions, and I'll be done.
Hopefully we get a solid serial debate on that show. James T. Kirk, next question. Last question from me. I think Herbert and the Chargers will fade per usual. Honestly, what's your takes on the Chargers?
Yeah, this is what I've felt from the beginning of the season. Obviously, I had stronger opinions on the Chargers than most. I actually had them finishing last in the division. That's not going to happen. But yeah, they're a team that is going to be very up and down every single week, in my opinion, because of the fact that obviously the lack of availability for a lot of players they've had with injuries and things of that nature are always going to play a factor. But there's also this element, I don't know really how to put my finger on it, but with Justin Herbert, like, the stat column will usually look pretty damn good, but there's games where it just doesn't feel like he's all there, and it just feels like there's a lack of something, and then you come out that game, how do they just lose that game? They feel outmatched a lot of times. Like, when you saw them play against the Colts, it never felt like those two teams were on the same playing field. It felt like the Colts were just simply the better team in every regard. There's been numerous times that's happened this year, and I think they're also the beneficiary of playing the Chiefs when they played them and where they played them. I think playing in Brazil with the Chiefs not only didn't have Rashee Rice, but gets Xavier Worthy hurt within 3 plays of the game. That was if they ran that game back right now, I think the Chiefs win that game and win it pretty comfortably, because I just don't like the matchup for the Chargers. I think they're coached very well, but let's be real, guys. As great of a coach as Jim Harbaugh has been in his NFL career, he hasn't won anything. So he's got a lot of proving to do himself. So I'm at the point, like, and I hate to, echo Patrick Mahomes' words when he said on the golf course all those years ago, I'll see it when I believe it. So he literally said it that way. So yeah. I'll see it when I believe it as well. Right now, I don't believe it.
Read between the lines. Yeah, come on, Chargers, man. A lot of talent on that team, but I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna be surprised if the Broncos are actually a team that I think fades as the season goes on because they've pulled off some wins that are some bullshit. If I'm being honest. Like, and I don't trust them in the leadership of that team. And now their best defensive players down for a few weeks, possibly. You know, like he's on the IR with Patrick Surtain going down. I think that's a massive loss. I think they got Benito. They got a lot of studs on that defense still. I think it's still going to be a good defense. But only reason I think that the Broncos still probably finished higher in the division, which I on my predictions, I had the Chargers finishing second in this division. I'm still sticking to that. Because I still think they have a lot of talent. I think their defense is playing a little bit better football as of late. So that's good for them. But can they stay healthy? That's the question. 𝚂𝙿𝙸𝚂𝙾𝙳𝙴 is a nice addition to that offense. I think he's a freaking stud. His dad was a stud also, so he's a freak athlete. The way they've been using him lately is kind of scary. That's a nasty little development going on over there. I think that they still have a good offense. Vidal's been an awesome running back fill-in for them right now for Omari and Hampton. So I still think, in my opinion, I still think they finished second in the division. I think the Broncos fall short a couple. I think we're going to beat them both times. You know what I mean? So we've already split. I think we beat the Chargers next matchup, so I think we'll split with them. I think we take care of the Broncos. I just don't trust Bo Nix. I trust more of the talent on the offensive side for the Chargers more than I do the Broncos. So, granted, the Broncos have the better home field advantage. The Chargers don't have really any kind of home field advantage at all. So that's a tough thing for them to still overcome on a weekly basis. The visiting team always has the better crowd, which is tough. That's tough. I still trust the Chargers. I think they're gonna finish the season fairly strong in my if they stay healthy. Because I had them, I think only 2 games behind us in my predictions. I had them winning, I think 11 games this year, which still could happen. I mean, but I don't, maybe not. But I'm banking on the Broncos actually to go on a pretty bad run here the next few weeks, in my opinion. So we'll see. We'll see how this division shakes out. I think we all know at the end of the year though who's going to be on top of it. That's all that really matters to me. Cell 32 alt, speak it. Rasheed and Xavier started coming on later in the season, their rookie years. I know it's not as needed, but when do you think we'll at least get to see Royals with the ball in his hands?
That's an interesting question. I think Trevor, I know you. That's been your guy.
Yeah.
So I'm sure you have a very strong opinion on it. But I stand where I've stood the whole time, guys. I told you guys I don't envision that Jalen Royals is going to have a real impact at all this season, just because of the fact that he's a mid-round rookie pick that I think Andy Reid wants to kind of have sit back, kind of red shirt this year, and see what it's like to be a professional, to see what it's like to be a receiver with Patrick Mahomes, and how much you have to understand and learn and consume to become a player of real value to this offense.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's going to happen this season. I think that when Tyquan Thornton's gone and Hollywood Brown is probably gone, you're going to see Jalen Royals get a real chance because Xavier Worthy and Rashee Rice are obviously going to be at the top of this wide receiver room. And, maybe Royals becomes that third option. Juju will probably be gone. Maybe Travis Kelce retires. There could be a real shift, and all of a sudden, Jalen Royals is of real value. So why not capitalize on learning everything you can in your rookie season when you're not that valuable, and then you can be that much more valuable than following season. So I'm going to say 2026 is when we see the first real version of what Jalen Royals can and will be.
Yeah, I was excited at the beginning of the year with the absence of Rashee Rice, but the injury just derailed the whole season for Jalen Royals. I fully believe in the future of the kid for this team. I really, really do. I think his skill set fits very much to what we do with Rashee Rice. He's a very similar prototypical kind of player. I think we can utilize his skill set similar to the way we do Rashee Rice. And Rashee's he's still evolving as a complete receiver too.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because Rashee came into this league not having the whole full route tree. You know what I mean? So he very rarely wins on the outside, but he's starting to do that more and more as his career has progressed. So I think once Rasheed becomes that guy, I think that's Jalen Royals can be used a little bit more gimmicky and like the quick in-breaking routes, like how we use Rasheed. I think we can use them very similar. So you have both those guys in the field at the same time moving forward in this offense in the next few years. I think that's an exciting thing to envision. I think his skill set is awesome. I think that he's got really good juice after the catch. Love guys like that in this offense. Obviously, those guys thrive in this offense. I do think you said with Juju probably being gone next year, I think he's one of those guys you can slide in and play that really good after the catch role. If you need a guy that can move the sticks on a third down, he can be a reliable guy. I think his skill set fits. And this is just a lost season because he had an opportunity, and that's why I was banking on to see what we have in him while Rasheed was out for 6 weeks, but he's just been hurt. You know what I mean? And he's been on the field a little bit, but it's been more for just like, in motion kind of things like that. Nothing crazy, just maybe getting a feel for him, but he just hasn't been right. And it's just a lost season for him. We don't need him. That's a nice luxury to have, man. A guy like that I think is going to be a future player for this team and a stud for this team. not needing him is nice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, like, I think that's a good thing. And this wide receiver room is stacked, maybe the most stacked wide receiver room we've had in the Mahomes era. So, good problems to have. But I think moving forward the next, 3 to 4 years, I think he can really be a guy for us, man. So, next year is a year I'm really looking forward to him with him. Dustin Orton just chimed in the chat, said, update, we just elevated `𝚂𝙿𝙸𝚂𝙾𝙳𝙴.
Yeah, I was expecting either him or Elijah Mitchell. Elijah Mitchell's obviously already on the roster, but for whatever reason, he hasn't been used at all. So yeah, Clyde will be active.
Yeah.
I don't expect him to play. I do expect him to be suited up, though, in case there's an injury of some sort. Then he has to play. But yeah, that doesn't shock me at all. I do expect Elijah Mitchell to actually be in the game at some point in this matchup, though, just based on the fact that they still have to have another body out there.
I mean, he's a good pass pro guy, too. So I think him being out there for some pass pro, just to have, on some pass plays for Pat to protect his blind side or to chip on the right side, I think that makes a lot of sense to have a veteran that knows this offense. And knows, if plays break down, he knows how to break open and get open for Pat to dump it off to him if need be, things like that. Just having a guy who's knowledgeable of the offense is important.
Right.
Micah Hayes, if the Chiefs can't get pressure and sacks on Bo Nix like last year, how do you think the game will end?
As far as the game against the Broncos?
Yeah. This is kind of jumping out ahead, but
I mean, yeah, we'll definitely discuss that more as that week comes about. But I will say that, yeah, it can be devastating for the Chiefs defense because that is something that they're going to have to do against another mobile quarterback, which Bo Nix is. Do I have belief that Spags will be able to draw up enough pressures to make him a little skirmish or squirmy in the pocket? Yeah, I do expect that. I think there's going to be a certain amount of stunt blitzes and written up X's and O's type things that are going to help the defense succeed that Spags will have ready. But yeah, it could be definitely a problem, man, if they don't get adequate pressure on a guy that can and will move the chains with his feet. And that goes across the board, not just Bo Nix, anybody.
Yeah, and we'll worry about that when the time comes too. And also, I'm hoping when the time does come, we'll have another guy in our repertoire on this defensive line via trade, hopefully to add to the mix of something else for Bo Nix to worry about. Let alone this defense that's elite already.
Right.
We haven't needed a lot of sacks to keep teams out of the end zone. That's impressive. So if we start collecting sacks, that's scary, man, for the rest of this league, especially with what our offense is doing already. I mean, so it's been tough for both sides of the ball to be clicking at an elite level, and we have a chance this season to have an elite offense and an elite defense. And when you have those two combinations with the best quarterback and the best head coach of football, the league is in trouble, straight up. So that's it for the questions, man.
Great questions, guys, as always. We appreciate you guys for contributing the way that you do to this show each and every week. And it's never taken lightly from us for sure. And I always say at the top, I say at the bottom as well of the show. If you've not already done it, can you guys go ahead and hit up the YouTube side of things and the Spoken Podcast, hit subscribe, hit share, hit like, hit notify, hit them all. But also hit the comment button because we always love it when you guys are chiming in on the show and getting us your feedback, getting us your questions, your takes, comments, concerns, whatever it is that you have for us. We love it every single time when you guys bring it our way. So go ahead and do that. We very much appreciate it, as we always do. Trevor, we have one more order of business to get to. What is it called? Hold this. Each and every episode, we have a series. Each and every episode, we finish off every single episode with a series of L's in the world of sports. Whether those L's are not so serious L's, or maybe some serious L's in the world of sports, we promise you, who's ever holding those L's in the world of sports deserve those L's in the world of sports. Trevor Twiddle will hold the L for you this week.
So there's a clip of, listen, Tua takes a lot of heat, rightfully so. Tua Tagovailoa, quarterback for the Miami Dolphins. Whether it's his post-game pressers or his ass performance on basically every other week, you could bank that he's going to have a terrible performance, especially if it's a game he's coming off of having a really good game.
Right.
Put all your money on him shit in the bed the next game.
Right.
And that's what this guy does. And it is what it is. He had a really good start to his career. But as the injuries have plagued him, and his lack of confidence and amongst his peers and his teammates in the locker room and coach, honestly, this has been a strange year for him, especially he's been a little more chatty this year. And I can see why this locker room is lost, because the quarterback, the leader of this team, is just like, you never really understand what the hell he's actually saying, what his point is. And it's even reared its ugliest part of its head just this past matchup against the who did they just play against? It was the Ravens. Yeah. The Ravens just recently. Monday Night Football. My goodness, or Thursday Night Football. I'm sorry. it was just a terrible performance, and you can understand why the performance was bad because Tua can't even get his own. Quarterbacks tend to be either a quarterback or maybe a Chris Jones or a defensive elite player is like the guy that kind of gets the raw guy, gets the guys hyped up. But typically it's the quarterback talking to his guys, rallying the troops, and giving a little pregame speech to get the guys juiced, along with some smelling salts typically. But they needed all the smelling salts because there was no juice from what Tua was trying to get the guys going in the pregame tunnel. And I just want to kind of play this audio for you guys here real quick if you want to listen to it. So if you guys didn't hear what he said, it's kind of hard to hear, I'm sure, but I'm sure a lot of you have seen the clip, and it's been making its rounds on the socials. He says we got 60 minutes, and then he follows that statement up with we got 60 minutes. We've got 4 hours of pain. Make them feel you, and it's the most unconfident shit you'll ever see. It's the most like Minnie Mouse version of a pre-tunnel hype up quarterback. Rhetoric is so.
I told you what that guy said in the comments, right? He goes, man, he couldn't prep talk me to drink a beer, and the other guy goes, I don't know, he makes me want to drink.
And bro, listen, I don't like to just hate on people for no reason. And Tua seems like a great dude. He's definitely a competitor. The guy is not giving up. A lot of people probably would have retired after all those concussions, so I'll give him that. He's continued to put himself out there as a competitor. But my God, this year has been the roughest, and he hasn't even had the major injuries this year, and this has been the roughest to watch of his career because just the things that have been coming out of his mouth and him trying to be this machismo, well thought out, deep thinking type of guy trying to go on these tirades about shit that makes no sense. And then you see, and then like I said, it's reared its ugliest part of its head, seeing that pregame tunnel that he probably wished they weren't in any cameras and they're recording that shit. We got 60 minutes. Here, 4 hours of pain. Make them feel you. Dude, it's so bad. And there could be some CTE. I'm not trying to be insensitive here,
but we don't know that. So
right. We don't know, but it definitely seems like some shit's going. The guy has just been painful to listen to all year, and that's just the worst of it right there. I mean, that is just bad. And they just fired their GM, I believe. This team's just a clusterfuck. You never know what to get every week out of this team. They're probably going to ball out this week now, chances being. But yeah, hearing that, and this what this Dolphins season has been, the amount of talent they've had on this team too, and the underachievement of this team. It is what it is. I still love Mike McDaniel, but even his shtick's kind of running its course. It's been a dumpster fire over there.
What you don't do is you don't live, and then you don't live.
It's like that meme of that kid. You
do.
Yeah, bro. It's so bad. It's falling apart over there, and then this just tops it off the list here of just painful audio from this team.
It's brutal, man.
60 minutes equates to 4 hours. Now, make them feel you. You know what I mean? Get out there.
Right up in the loins, you feel it.
Go football. You know what I mean? It's just, bro, it's so bad. So, Tua, my guy, do me a solid favor and hold this L.
Whoever is in charge of the negotiations between YouTube TV and ESPN can kiss my ass, because we always see it every year. YouTube TV could be in danger of losing your sports channels. Put a stop to that now by reaching out on .com. That always happens, and I always overlook it. But then I woke up yesterday morning and realized that, holy shit, ESPN and Disney channels are really off of YouTube TV right now. And YouTube TV decided to put this is actually from Yahoo. Let me put it on the screen. Unfortunately, Google's YouTube TV has chosen to deny their subscribers the content they value most by refusing to pay their fair rates for our channels, including ESPN and ABC. Without a new agreement in place, their subscribers will not have access to their programming, which includes the best lineups in live sports, anchored by the NFL, NBA, and college football, with 13 of the top 25 college teams playing this weekend. With a $3 trillion market cap, Google is using its market dominance to eliminate competition and undercut the industry's standard terms we have successfully negotiated with every other distributor. We know how frustrating this is for YouTube TV subscribers and remain confident of working towards a resolution as quickly as possible. Well, that's not quick enough because what's happening now is YouTube subscribers are getting the shaft. And by the way, I don't know if you knew this, Trevor, over the last 5 years, YouTube television went up from $40 a month to $83. And they continue to lose shit. The one thing in this world right now that people watch live is not sitcoms.
Yeah.
It's live sports. It's football. It's basketball.
Yep.
It's baseball. And now you don't have that, at least on those major market networks. There's no excuse for it, man. Unless Disney's asking for just a ridiculous, if they're coming to the negotiation table with some ridiculous number, there's no excuse for this. And I highly doubt a company that is as successful as Disney is and has been for decades would do something like that with the risk of losing a partnership with one of the biggest, if not the biggest, streaming service currently in television. This is inexcusable for that. YouTube television in particular has to do me a solid and hold this out. Get our freaking channels back. This is stupid, man.
Yeah.
Stupid. Just absolutely stupid.
So it's still currently down right now?
Still currently down.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm of the belief that it's going to, before Monday Night Football, they will have a resurgence of conversations and it'll be done. And this isn't going to last. It's just dumb, though, that it's actually happening because right now, college football's all over ESPN and YouTube subscribers can't watch the games.
That's crazy.
Yeah, dude. So pretty bad. Pretty freaking bad.
There's going to be mass cancellations.
Yeah. So if they don't want to lose money, how about you do the right thing? Because then you're going to really lose money if you don't.
Wow.
Regardless, you guys will never have to worry about that here at the Spoken Podcast because we don't deal with Disney. And if we did, we'd probably be in a cooler looking studio, just to put that out there. But regardless, we're going to be here for you guys. Don't worry about that. And YouTube TV can't do anything about it. But again, thank you guys so much for being here today. We are feeling really good about this Bills-Chiefs matchup. I hope you guys are as well. And if you guys have not already done it, I say it again, just hit us up on YouTube, man. Let us know what you guys think on there. Keep the conversations moving. You guys can talk amongst yourselves as you guys do every single week. But make sure you hit the subscribe, like, share, comment buttons. All the buttons, please push them. They help us big time. I hope you guys are having an awesome Saturday. I hope you guys have an all-safe Halloween weekend. I know we're going to try to. I can't make any promises, of course. I'm just going to try to get feeling better because holy hell, man, it feels like it's been like 2 weeks since I've ever actually not had a sinus problem. So we'll see how that goes the rest of the day as it gets colder. But for Trevor Twidwell, for the great Clay Weather that puts all this together on the back end of things at Red Tribe Cinema, I am Lance Twidwell. Episode 334 of the Spoken Podcast is done, finished, and finito. And until we are back here in 1 week's time, hopefully talking about the Chiefs being in a much better situation than they are right now and getting themselves back in the driver's seat of the AFC West and the AFC Conference as a whole, we out of this bitch.
Later.